Welcome once again, all you Warhammers and Warhammies, to the best episode of Big M's Power Hour to date. I am your host, Big M, along with the best co-host in the world, Cole C. How you doing, Cole?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back on, of course.
Fighting the
Glad.
Buckeye corruption, huh?
Oh, don't worry. It's not the Buckeye corruption I got to worry about. It'll all be good. I mean, it's okay. I was a Pitt alum, so I don't got to worry about such things. There's no bad mouthing going on between me and my coworkers, so we're all good. Now, for the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game, there were words said, but it's all good.
Is that what helped bring you back a little bit? Just
100%.
Up until then, you were staring into the flatness, and the flatness was staring back, and
and it was just getting flatter and flatter.
I can see the infinities, which, of course, I mean by that, Indiana.
Yes.
So, looking at the news, it doesn't seem like there's a lot. But, again, we record this as we go. If this was, I'm going to throw an estimate or a guesstimate out there. I'm going to say, go ahead and get your drink now. Go ahead, get a drink, get a snack.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's a big model you've been looking to paint, maybe now's the time. Speaking of big models, got some exciting news.
Okay.
Our buddy Anthony from NashCon, I reached out to him and asked him a favor.
Oh.
I got him to print me my proxy for the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon.
No way.
And it just came in, and it is massive and beautiful.
That's awesome. No, Anthony's genuinely such a nice guy. It's awesome he did that for you. I am excited to see it in person now.
So my friend that I always go to for 3D printing, and on top of that, someone else that I went to for 3D printing, were just struggling with this STL. Apparently, just the whole thing was just janked. Like the pre-supported structures were all off and everything like that. And even Anthony himself was like, I think he had to do it like twice.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was like, "Well, I'm not that good at the resin." And then here comes one of the best printed models I've ever seen.
Oh, geez. He's like, it's not that good enough. Then again, look at the bar that man holds himself to. Because, like, if you've ever been to NashCon and you've looked at those tables, you're like, really? This is awesome.
Yeah. So the zombie list, or my soul blight's coming along.
Yeah.
We'll get
a lot of paint getting done.
We'll get to the battle tome, or the battle, whatever the hell it's called. The update here, and but my army did okay. I essentially I dropped a unit of fell bats, and I downgraded, quote unquote, downgraded Blood Knights to Black Knights.
Yeah,
not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. I was really looking forward to bringing Blood Knights, but not right now.
'Twas not to be.
So I don't have basing on yet, but the painting itself, I finished painting 100 zombies. I only needed 80, but I was like, if I stop, the last 20 will never get painted.
Right, you might as well just bang them out.
So I just
have them done.
Got them done. And this was the first time I was doing slap chop.
Yeah. How did we like it?
Amazing.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
I know we don't talk about hobby too much on here, but I care, so we're going to talk about it.
Because I get so much done, as you can see behind me.
Previously, we didn't talk about hobby because I didn't care about it, and I know you don't care about what I'm painting.
Okay.
I know you do, but they don't.
Right.
I'm sorry. I love Vince to death, but when he talks about what he's painting, I don't care. I don't care.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
one of those. Let me know when it's done, Vince, and I can see it and Google at it, and that's awesome.
Whenever I get the skeletons done, I definitely have to post a picture on here, because they have a lot of they have a chest plate, but it's only strapped on from the back. Like, there's no back plate; it's just cloak.
Oh, okay.
And I hate cloaks. These cloaks look awesome.
Okay.
To the point where one of the reasons why I hadn't bought the lion yet, because I wanted to put him next to my Gulliman, was all that cloakage. Slapchop might be the way to go to actually go get that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the funny part. 100 zombies, no problem. I had no issue with it. I only started getting a little fatigue at the end where I was just like, I was getting a little bit more...
excited to be done with it.
Right, a little excited to be done with it, and a little bit of, like, choice paralysis. I forget, that's not the exact term.
Okay.
And this is just because, like here's kind of 8 colors that I want to stay in, and I want to kind of have them all kind of somewhat unique. And
it's getting hard by 81 to 100. I can see being difficult to make different from everyone else. Yeah.
So at the end, basically what I did is there's a bunch of women zombies with dresses. So I was like, okay. I'm just gonna pull out some colors. I'm just gonna have fun with like 8 of them.
Yeah.
And so there's 8 that are like red dress, blue dress, blah blah blah. But
hey, nothing wrong with that.
Let me. Again, this works every once in a blue moon, but we're gonna try here.
Let's see. Oh, look at that focus. Yeah. Beautiful.
So this is simply slap chop and contrast. Oh, and of course I did the metallic with a metallic paint. But again, I paid attention to a little bit of detail. I kind of want to go back and do the belts, but at the same time, I don't want to do 100 belts.
I understand, especially now that you've got it in your head that you have completed them,
right,
quote unquote, except for some basing. But
but here's the other issue. So now I'm on to 40 skeletons, which again, I only need 20, but I'm doing 40.
Doing them all so it's done.
These are killing me.
A lot of detail in those models, what I remember.
And then I paint them, and like the hips like flex, and I'm like,
oh,
I'm like, I don't know what to do with these. Like, I'm a little afraid to put magnets on them.
Oh, because they're just that fragile feeling.
Yeah, I'm literally talking like putting it in a paint holder and brushing it. It's flexing.
Okay. Man, we should get some brush softener for you too. That might be it.
Oh no. I mean it's normal brushes. What I'm thinking is, I actually bought extra small, super duper small magnets.
Okay.
For Crisis Protocol.
Yeah. Try it with those instead.
Might get put on there because I just did because they're super light models. There's no plastic to them.
Mm-hmm.
I might try those. Just put it on like the back of the base or something. See if that'll be enough to like hold it as long as I'm gentle.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Last thing I'm gonna do is try pulling a model off the base and coming up with
see what happens. Yeah.
Coming up with a torso only. Yeah, so that army's coming along. Hopefully this week I might pause on the skeletons just so I can assemble and prime the zombie dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have it. Of course, I pre-ordered the Dawnbringer 2 book.
Okay.
And with that, I also got a GW base because even though there's cheaper bases out there, the GW ones are a little
they're nicer. Yeah.
A little sturdier. So
I mean, you have to give them their quality's better on some things. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I ordered that at the same time. It's currently with the date of recording, which is a little bit early, is the 25th.
Yeah.
So we're now going on a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I still do not have that order in. So,
Okay.
One of the reasons why we're not talking Dawnbringers this week or this month.
That's understandable. We'll get around to them.
Yep. So, speaking of Dawnbringers, of course, that brings up our role-playing game, which is not, it has not been scrapped. It has not been forgotten about. We are working on it. We've actually recorded Character Creator.
Yeah.
Which, again, character creation can be a little boring. And I think, all things considered, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good.
You
No,
gotta go into it with a little patience, though. It is a little dry because it is character creation, but it's still entertaining. You'll still learn a thing or two.
especially like I knew nothing about the system going into this, so I learned on the fly. It really was not too difficult of a system to understand as we went through.
Not at all.
Which I appreciate.
So right now, essentially, we are in a holding pattern for me to get this book, so I can read the book, figure out, are we connecting campaigns, or are we getting done with book 1 and then switching to new characters for book 2? And then on top of that, I also have to try and figure out how to integrate everything a little bit better. I had watched videos on Dawnbringer Book 1 previously, and kind of came up with a campaign idea there, and then sat down and read the book and went, every review missed a lot of detail.
A lot of gaps in there, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so that blatantly steps on the feet of a lot of the shit I came up with.
Okay, then that makes sense. That'd be why you go, well.
Now there is, what's probably very likely going to happen is we're going to be the LaCroix of Dawnbringers. And I just do whatever the fuck I want anyways.
Yeah. Just a small group that thought they were going to do something, but ended up being a little footnote put somewhere that people kind of forgot about. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things is, like, I don't know if you've ever done, like, a Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or something like that.
Never have, unfortunately.
It's an interesting place because everybody wants to be,
Luke Skywalker, right?
Well, it's not necessarily that, but, like, the party, whether they know it or not, like, at the end of the day, they know they want to have some sort of impact on the main story if it's going on at the same time. If Luke's on Bespin and you're one planet over, it might not be bad to, like, oh, hey, we held up the Imperials for 2 days or whatever. That's why they almost got away,
Yep.
And so you have to find that difference between impacting the story without impacting to the point where there's no reason everyone wouldn't know your name.
Okay. Yeah.
It's an interesting gap that you gotta fly in.
Fun little balance. Yeah.
So that is still coming. It's a little later than I was expecting at this point. I was kind of hoping to have episode 1 out by now, but I apologize. We'll get there. I promise.
We'll get it.
All right. Other than that, so I guess with the good news, you're leaving next week for a trip, right?
Yeah, I'm making a small trip. I'll be in Europe for 2 weeks, so it'll be fun.
This is why he abandoned us at NashCon, and this is why we're also recording a week early.
I do appreciate the consideration. I would have, put one in like the night before if we really had to, and been like, all right, guys, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to hurry up and go to sleep.
No. Other than that, we would have waited. We would have waited for you to be in Greece or wherever the heck it is and be like,
yeah, I'll be in Rome.
You shut up. It's 3
from there. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, no, we must talk about every book now.
Look, I'm just saying. That would be crazy. And I play D&D every Tuesday with a Welshman who plays with us when we start at 8 p.m. my time. That boy needs to stop and get some sleep. But
yeah. Well, one of our main raiders, actually the person that organizes our raids in Final Fantasy 15, is from Sweden. And our end time is about 11, which is, I believe, 3 or 4 a.m. in Sweden.
That's probably closer to 5, because they're probably +6.
It's somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah. No. I need to sleep. I'm a person who has to have his sleep. It doesn't go well. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. So, fun times to be had by all. So, again, it doesn't look like we have a lot of news this month, but I assure you we do. So let's go ahead and start off from September 4th. We got an Auric Warclan Vanguard box.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is before your time or not. Did you ever watch a movie called Mean Girls?
So, if I have, I think I have. It's been a minute since I last have, and I barely remember it.
Well, first off,
I remember the meme parts, but that was about it.
It was before Lindsay Lohan got into drugs and was still cute, so it's worth that.
Well,
Well, there's one line in there where one of the girls is trying to make fetch a cool word. So there's a
I
meme.
do. Yes, stop
Yeah,
trying to
there's
make fetch a thing.
Yeah, stop trying to make. Stop trying to make Cruel Boys a thing. It's not going to happen. That's just put them out the pasture. Wait till next edition and try again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the people who run the 9-man block of Crossbow Boys, maybe one or two of those, like, that's the list, and that's the only one that there is. And if you get it, awesome. But outside of that,
the one turn where it works,
boy, does it work. But if it don't, you should put your stuff away and go home.
I don't. We're gonna have to I'm gonna have to study Cruel Boys and come up with an episode where we try and figure out what they need to do with them to make them viable. Because, like, I know that they're very divisive on their looks.
Yes, they are.
Which to me, I think is bizarre. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with them at all.
No, I like them. It's a cool idea. I enjoy the models for the most part, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the weird, like, Dobie thing, like, that thing.
These are orcs that came from the swamp. It's fine. Right. Don't worry about it, you know? Yeah,
there has to be something there. There has to be a space to play. So, look forward to that one, because we have some episodes coming up where we're probably not going to have too much detail.
Fair enough.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, just because I don't think I pulled the article, they did announce Warhammer Day, or whatever the hell it is October 14th.
Oh.
So
I didn't.
They're going to be having a thing on October 14th where they're going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of Warhammer. If they do not announce Old World at that time, I think the next time we'll hear something is 4-1, where they're just going to come out and be like, "We gotcha, idiots. We're not coming out with Old World." It's just going to be the largest April Fool's joke in Warhammer, in wargaming history. That's
you know, I don't think they've got far too many eggs in this basket at this point.
I mean,
hit people with that. It was much more entertaining than it was. Look, it's a dwarf.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's a whole dwarf army.
No. We're doing the opposite. Hey, look, an army or a game. Fuck you.
No. I really did think that we would have heard more by now, just to get ready for the holiday season coming in and get people, like, get it on their wish list so their loved ones would be like, "Yep, that's what I got to get them," and now I'm good.
Yeah. So the ultimate high hope would be announce, hey, here's what Old World is. Here's what we're doing. You can pre-order it Saturday.
Yeah, that could be a good.
That would be
because October gives us a month and a half, 2 months of people can get that ordered.
Even still, even if it was, everyone here can go buy it now. Everyone else can pre-order it on Saturday. That's how you sell it.
Yep.
Now, I was watching some rumor. See, this is one thing I don't get. So I keep my ear, how low I keep my ear to the ground, listening to any sort of rumor that has any validity at all.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing on Old World. But
I haven't heard too much lately, yeah.
I watched a video that said about somebody who said that they heard rumors about Old World. So this is a source of a source of a source at this point.
And we're like 30 or 4 down the line, so grain of salt here.
So normally I ignore those. However, it made a lot of sense. So what they said was what they heard, because we know there's no launch box
Right.
So there's no versus box, but we do know that there's going to be a release of Tomb Kings and Bretonnians, which I think is absolutely appropriate considering those are the armies they squatted. Which,
Yep.
Bretonnians I get, especially like, I think the one thing that always kind of like I'm like, what are you bitching about? Like with the Bretonnian players, like just use them as cities. Like you just
Yeah.
I get that you don't have your rules, but you still have your models.
Well, I think the big part was the loss of the knights for all of those players.
They still have models in cities.
Now they do, I suppose. Yes, we do have a group of knights in there, but before,
you have your Griff Riders.
Yeah, there we go.
But anyways, so what the rumors are stating now is there's going to be a box set, like a starter box of Bretonnians with the rulebook, and a starter box with Tomb Kings with a rulebook in it.
Okay.
And it'll be a little bit of a smaller box. It'll basically be like 20 of your battle line, a unit of like 5 knights, and the new hero.
Yeah, okay.
And it'll basically be like that on both sides, which I could see that.
Yeah.
Again, it's weird we're not going to get a versus box, but it's Forge World, so what do we expect?
Right, exactly.
A versus box would weigh about 12 pounds with that.
It'll weigh 12 pounds. It's going to go for $300 somehow, even though you're only getting like 16 models max.
The first down payment is $300.
Oh, might be. Shipping is
right. Shipping is $400 and an apology to your local post. All right, let's see here. So, on September 11th, we had the announcement of the new Warcry Warband of Fire Slayers.
Oh, yeah. No, this was a cool little group. I kind of liked it, honestly.
I think they're all awesome looking. I think it's interesting to see where, because this is clearly just like a revisiting of what hey, we did
the army, yeah.
Right, we came up with stuff 8 years ago, and we've come up with a couple foot heroes since that have looked completely different every time we do it.
Yeah.
I love like the skirt that they've added.
Yeah, I do like that idea. It looks good.
I've always loved the battle skirt. Like,
fair enough. Yeah,
it's always with like priests and Obi-Wan and all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like they've toned down how much Urgle gets hammered into them.
Yes, it does. It does. At least this group, which, right. There will be like a reason for it. But I still see it in a spot or two, like on a leg or on an arm.
Yeah. We got our first 2 Lady Dwarden in Age of Sigmar.
Really? I didn't realize that these were the first 2.
This is so the first artwork of a female Dwarden was in the 2nd edition Caradron Overlords book. They had a picture of some important key figures, and I think her name was Magdra.
Okay.
And she was a smith, but there was no models for her or anything like that. And then, of course, we got a little baby Magmadroth.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Right. I mean, this is one of the things that like the Fire Slayer community's been saying is like you told us that this is a venerable Magmadroth is what all the sons and everyone else rides. So why can't we have one that's like a juvenile or something that like be closer to a Warcry size? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So who knows? Like this is either a step towards or away from that idea. I don't know which.
Well, whenever I get my unit full of crabs, I'll let you know.
That's the other thing. His Warcry, I could technically bring this one guy with the beard here and the pointing, and then just bring 18
the rest of this group. Yeah, why
not? So very well done. I'm very much looking forward to picking this up. It's an auto buy for me. Yeah,
awesome.
Glad to see something new to the. I'm glad to see something new, and I hope that in 4th edition, they're going to get some Iron Jaws treatment.
Mm. Yeah, that'd be great.
On the same day, we also got new rules for Trug the Trogoth King.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's pull up his. So I looked at his War Scroll. So he's priced, I think, $2 or $320, and
Okay.
I heard some people griping that he should have broken the 400 point mark, and
Okay.
I wholly disagree. I don't think he does that much damage. I think he is a utility piece, and I also think whenever you're going to be taking him primarily in an army of trolls.
Of course, yes. You've decided on an army whenever you've picked him. Yeah.
Right. You're not going to be like, well, I guess I'll throw some squigs, maybe Kragnos,
Yeah.
You're already going to have so many points going elsewhere that even if this guy was worth 400 points, which again, I don't think he is, putting him at 400 points would be an error because you wouldn't be able to get him in and the rest of the army.
Right. Yeah. It's a tough spot. And I forget, what's his saves look like? I don't think they're that great from what I remember.
4+, 16 wounds, and then he can... I think he has some pretty decent healing.
Yeah, you add 3 to the regen roll. Yeah.
Yeah, his... Oh, yeah, right there. Also, in the Dawnbringer book, his Army of Renown furthers his healing.
Okay.
I believe.
But he's 16 wounds on a 4-up save, so he can still just kind of die before he gets to heal. So
yeah, basically what it boils down to is do 16 wounds to him or leave him alone in his army. In this one here, you can
ask any bloodthirster out there. It dies, and it's 16 wounds with a 4-up armor save. Right.
So as far as that goes, it starts off with 4 attacks with its Iron Shell Club, 3s, 2 Ren D6. If my Megas could have a profile like that, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I know it.
And then whenever it comes to his Mighty Antlers, it's 2 attacks, starting off at 2 up, then 2 up, Ren 2, D3+3. Now, if I can get that for my Megas, that would be...
Yeah, that was actually... I mean, it's not bad. It's what is it? 4 attacks with the club?
Yeah, it starts with 4, and then it slowly devolves down to 1 eventually. Okay. But again, even with 4, you're looking at what 3 get through, 2 get through, Ren 2. I'll assume they both get through, and then you're looking at
D6 for 7. Yeah,
right. So again, if you're paying $320, I expect it to do 7 damage.
Yeah, it's not that bad, honestly. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and like I said, it has the Laystone on its back.
Right.
I gotta say, like, the narrative is a little dumb.
It's weird. Yeah, I think we had this conversation that it was...
What'd they do, glue it to him? Like, how can you not shake us off?
I don't know. I mean, apparently if you just take a nap and they build something on top of you, you just kind of grow into it.
I will assume that he was probably asleep for 100 or 1,000 years or whatever.
Right. He was obviously napping for a day or 2. So those horns must have really grabbed hold of it.
Yeah, but to me it's like you couldn't just like
smash your head into a rock.
Smash this thing off my back, as opposed to let's go on a grand crusade against everything. Okay, sure. Then the following day, September 12th, free Iron Jaws rules. So we got our new Iron Jaw stuff. Have you read the Iron Jaw stuff?
I have a little bit, yes, because I looked at that and I was like, I'm excited about playing Iron Jaws. Like, I almost want to do this. It's pretty cool.
Okay. Let me get to... I forgot how long this damn thing was. Sorry, people, for making you a little...
It's a long one. Yeah.
Start making a little... Now, I will say, I'll start off on the negative.
Okay.
Every army that has a low model count or low win rate is going to want this now.
Yes. Yes, everyone is going to be like, Where's my battle
Mine?
tome supplement?
Mine.
Yeah.
Especially them
Mine.
Lumina.
Yes. Yes. What they need is a fourth book.
Yeah. So okay. The Tusk boss on Ma Grunta.
Yeah.
14 wounds, 3 up save, starts so instead of this being on wounds, this is on momentum score.
Yeah.
So we'll go over this here real quick. This unit has a momentum score that affects the value represented by a star. For this unit, as shown on the momentum table above, at the start of battle, this unit has a momentum score of 1. Each time this unit finishes a run or charge move, add D3 to its momentum score. This momentum score can never exceed 6. At the end of each turn, subtract 1 from this unit's momentum score to a minimum of 1. So first off, what do you think about that?
It is an interesting idea, an interesting play space. I'm not against it. It's a cool idea. And I mean, him dropping down, it does make him not that good. He'll be a little bit of a swingy piece, but I like it. Like the idea that, okay, turn 1, I'm just going to run with this guy because why would you not? I'm going to roll a D3, end up in hopefully at 3 momentum. If I'm lucky, I'll be at 4, which will be cool.
Right.
But probably 3 momentum on average. 2 and 3 is the same either way, and you're not going to get in combat this turn, so probably not going to matter that you hit the 4.
Yeah.
It'll be the turn after that it matters. If you can get the run and charge on him,
right,
and get into somebody and be a 6, coming in there with that D3 plus 3 weapon off of him, that'll be fun. That'll be lots of fun. It's not ridiculous, though, as seen via Bloodthirsters again, to bring them back up. But at least the Ren's -3.
I almost feel, I don't know, like I'm not a huge fan of it. The idea,
okay.
I think the idea is a fine place to start.
Mm-hmm.
I think where they stopped was too soon.
Okay.
Because again, I don't know when the last time you played against Ironjaws is.
It's been a little while, honestly. I would say
they get into you turn 1.
Yes.
So if your momentum is, let's say you roll poorly,
2. Yeah.
You know, you're looking at going in. Let's say you ran and then you charged with Mighty Destroyers.
Okay. You could be
right. You could be.
You could be 3. Yeah.
You could be at a 3, and then you get stuck in combat, and then you go down to a 2, and then you're stuck in combat, and you go down to a 1. And now it's turn 4, and you've had a 1 for now 2 rounds. Whether you got in or out of combat. First off, you're not going to last that long. If you get into combat and you're
not buffed up. Yeah.
Right. This unit is, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I think they came up with a neat idea, and it feels like nobody played it.
Okay.
When this came out, I actually took a break from my job, my real job, and literally just rolled attacks for like 5 minutes.
Just to get an idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So like without the buffs, this thing does like 7-8 damage.
Yeah.
It's not
right. Nothing to write home about. Yeah.
It's like, and this is supposed to be, your centerpiece to your little whatever army you want to put this into, and this just doesn't cut the mustard to me.
Okay.
I feel like this should be, I don't know how you do it. Like, to me, it feels like the momentum should be like, you build up your momentum like going before you get into combat, and when you charge, then it's just like a cannon through a pillow. Like, but you can't balance that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like you'd have to charge him up for one charge in the game. Or give him some sort of wah ability where he boosts the momentum of himself and the other pigs around him.
That's a cool idea. This Carve the Path Monsters Rampage might make it a little bit easier to buff him up as well, though, just from what I'm reading here. So I'm interested in it.
So for the Carve the Path thing, I feel like this shows where you can get your money back on him. If you carve that path to basically go, fuck your screen.
Yeah, I'm going to be in the back line now.
Right.
Yep.
And you go with that wizard that has 5-6 wounds and you're doing 7-8 damage. Now
he'll just charge twice, so you're rolling 2d3 there.
Right.
So he might be fully buffed by the time he's
and then he would be at a higher damage profile. I was doing
you were always keeping him at
3 and 4 is basically where I was going with momentum score. So I never had him at max whenever I was doing that because I'm like, I know me, I'm not putting him at a max.
Right. But I can see how somebody could get to that 6 without.
Right. Yeah,
it's one of those things you'll have to hold him back for a turn. 100%.
This is definitely. That's the one thing that's very interesting about him is he is not he's not your standard orc unit. You do not just go, can I get into combat right this second? If yes, do that, win.
Right.
You actually have to do some strategy with this guy. Yeah. Now, with the next one, or no, I don't think it's the next one. I think this. Let me see. Is this the one? No. So this is the. The Maw Grunta with Hacken crew.
Yeah.
I think is also not worth his points.
This is what the non-hero
version of essentially the same thing.
Right. Also has the full unstoppable momentum and can do hack and charge, which is pretty similar.
Yeah, everything. I mean, it's basically like going from a named character to an unnamed character, except for here you're going from a hero to a non-hero. So it's like
lose out on some of it. Yep.
Which then leads us to, I think, the most useful of them, the Maw Grunta Gougers.
Let's see here.
Yeah. This, where everything comes into for this one, is the Monstrous Rampage.
Okay. Let's see. Flattened into the mud.
Yeah, only a model in a unit that has made a charge move this turn can carry out this Monstrous Rampage. Pick an enemy unit with a wounds characteristic of 1 or 2 within 3 inches of this unit and roll a die. If the roll is less than the unit's momentum score, the Strike Last effect applies to that enemy unit until the end of the turn.
Okay.
So, being able to do a portable Strike Last...
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
And on top of that, if you make it so, and this will probably be the other reason to make what's-his-face in your army here, to make this guy battle line, you can double reinforce this.
Oh,
so
that's
now,
interesting.
If you're looking at 3 of these guys, for a total of 36 wounds on a 4-up, coming in at you.
That's a pretty tough thing to move.
Right. Now, that is a lot of points.
Right. This is a sizable chunk of your army at, which one was this? 180 for the unit? Or for one of them? Yeah. Okay.
Skip ahead. Yeah, so for the Gougers, 180. And then if... now, again, I don't necessarily know if it's worth double reinforcing... or I should say, I don't know if double reinforcing is worth
it on this,
because your Maw Crusher's still a better bang for the buck.
Right. No, I would only take these guys in singles, I feel like, because all that I'm looking for them to do is charge, make my decisions in combat easy this turn.
And again, like I said, Me, I'd probably only take them as doubles. I would take 1 unit of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I would do.
Okay.
Other than that, so then we're moving on to the Ardboy stuff. So you have the Ardboy Big Boss, who adds 1 to the shield bash rolls, which we'll get to in a minute. That's really good. Being able to issue the rally command 2 times in the same phase, also amazing. And
very cool.
His combat's not bad.
No, not bad for a character here. I mean, that is pretty much the standard Stormcast hero line right there. Yeah.
Now, Anvil Smasher, he's also, like, here's the thing. Like, I think there's a build for Ardboys.
Okay.
And I think it requires every single one of the heroes they introduced.
It may. But let's also just be completely honest here. The Anvil Smasher is the coolest model they came out with. I'm just saying.
Now, let me see. So this is one thing that you... So if you've read the abilities, there's something in here that annoys me, and I think it might be obvious enough that you'll notice it.
All right, let me get to reading here because I do not remember this.
So I'll go ahead. Power of the Great Green God. In your hero phase, you can pick 1 friendly Iron Jaws unit wholly within 12 inches, which, thank God, of this unit and roll a die. Add 2 to the roll of this unit if this unit is armed with the Grunta-Tong. So you have a choice between Grunta-Tongs or the Ward Smasher Choppa. Choppa. So if you go with that, you get +2 to this. So on a 4-up, that unit's weapons are green hot until the start of your next hero phase. While a unit's weapons are green hot, unmodified hit rolls for 6, unmodified rolls of 6 for attacks made with melee weapons by that unit cause 1 mortal wound in addition to any other damage they inflict. And then, of course, the Ward Smashing Choppa, if the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with this unit's Ward Smashing Choppa is a 6, and the target has a ward, ward's gone.
Which is a cool little idea.
For the rest of battle.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's my Ward Smasher. That's all it does.
Do you see what annoys me?
That it's green hot? Is that what it was?
It's close. That is the area of the issue. The other part of that issue is that they painted his weapon
red. Yeah. Let's be honest. They should have just leaned into the 40K lore a bit and been like, well, red ones chop better. Yeah. It's okay.
So again, amazing, absolutely amazing. Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I like that you can build him for more of a combat character, sort of, kind of, with the Word Smasher as well.
Right.
Instead of the buff character.
And I gotta say, I wish there was a generic version of him so I could take that.
Oh, yes, take 2 of them or something.
If there's one where I could have, the generic that only gets +1.
Yep. That'd be a cool idea.
All right, so here we got 2 new Brutes units.
Yeah, we did.
Thanks.
They're in an interesting spot. So what? They're units of 3, right?
Right. So the Brute Ragers, I think you have one way to go with the Brute Ragers, because essentially there's 3 profiles. The Chain Smasher, everything's 2-inch range, by the way. So Chain Smasher, 6 attacks, 4s, rend 1, 2 damage. Oh boy, okay. The Mighty Gore Haka, 3 attacks, 3s, rend 2, 2 damage, which already...
Right.
You could make that 2 attacks, and to me that's better than the 6 attacks.
Interesting. And then I feel like the Bone Shaking Strike might break up for it.
Well, so we're getting there.
I know.
So we have the Brute Crusher, which is 3 attacks, 4s, rend 1, d3 damage.
You put that one in the garbage.
Well, so that's where I'm torn. because you have the bone-shattering strike. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with the Brute Crusher is 6, that causes 3 mortal wounds to the target and the attack sequence ends.
Okay, so on average, I'm going to get 1.5 sixes out of this unit first turn. So I'll do 3 mortal wounds, maybe 6.
So again, here's what you do. You take the Brute Ragers, and then you reinforce this one. So now you're looking at 6 models. They're 2 inches, so the back row can reach. So now you have 18, and so then if you get 3 6s, now all of a sudden
doing 9 mortals plus
doing 9 mortals. So like the problem is I think they're a little costly. Brute.
What are Brute Ragers?
They're
100 for 3 is not bad, especially in this army. I feel like a lot of things are on the higher end of cost for Iron Jaws. 100 is bad.
200 points to do a solid 9 mortal wounds every combat that can run and charge.
Which, I mean, they need to.
Right. Especially with 3 wounds at a 5
the dwarf
save.
legs. Yeah. Right.
Now, here's where I differ with everybody else. The Weird Brute Rekkas. 6 attacks per, force 4s, 1 rend, 2 damage. If a unmodified hit roll for an attack is 6 and the target has 10 or more models, the attack scores 2 hits instead of 1, make the wound roll for everything individual, run and charge, yay. This unit has a 5-up ward while it is within 3 inches of any enemy unit. I don't care. I don't care. You're a 4/4 Rend 2 or Rend 1 2 damage. You could at least be Rend 2 2 damage. Like, dear God.
Right.
This to me, the Weird Brute Rekkas are not only a hot garbage war scroll. Like, the rules is written, garbage. I don't think it's worth it. Leave it at home. On top of that, like, they built these things up to be like some sort of weird magic-y thing. You got your weird, like, weird has indicated some sort of magic aspect.
Right, yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like,
give them something, yeah.
When attacking a wizard, when a spell goes off, like, I mean, imagine if there was like, if a spell is cast within 18 inches, this unit can make a charge, or can attempt to charge at 3d6.
Right. I don't know, because it's in a weird spot. It's only 125 points for the 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't care.
And if you can, average out math, they'll average against a 4-up armor save, 8 wounds.
Well, again, what world do you live in where you actually fight something that has a 4-up save?
This is true. Yeah. No, they aren't like the most special thing in the world for me. Have to agree with that. I don't know. Maybe the 5-up ward makes them more survivable than I'm realizing, but I don't feel like it really adds a whole lot to a unit that's going to be 9 or 18 wounds. So,
Yeah, I'd rather have the mortals. First off, if I needed to bring brutes, I'm bringing old brutes. These do not replace new
old brutes are better for the most part. Right. Yeah.
Especially, like, I feel like they keep on doing this thing where they have these units of 3 and they just don't work. Like,
units of 3 it's something that GW wants to do because they did it over in the Space Marine side, let's be honest.
And it just doesn't work.
And it doesn't quite work, It's very difficult without it's either the models are broken or they aren't good.
Right. Well, because the problem is like, they need to be, like, if you're going to have a unit of 3, they need to be able to stay. Like, removing one model needs to be an accomplishment. Right.
They either need to stay or it needs to be, oh boy, they got to you. You didn't deal with them.
Right.
And now you're going to pay. Like, the Brute Ragers should be, oh boy, yep, they're made of paper and they don't move that fast, but they touched you. And this guy isn't wearing a shirt for a reason, so.
That's why I'm not against the Brute Ragers. If I saw Brute Ragers on the table, I'd be like, huh, this guy knows something I don't.
Right. Yeah.
Or, oh, okay, all right, he's got something up his sleeve. I gotta figure out how to take care of them. You know,
Yeah.
if someone brought weird brutes, I was like, okay, this guy's not taking me seriously.
Yeah.
Or there's a reason why he's down here at these tables with me. Like, and then the Orc Ardboys. Like, this, I know people were griping and groaning that they're 220 for 10.
Right.
But that is 20 wounds with a 3-up save. So if you do, you know, there's the War Chanter +1 attack. So now you're looking at a block of, you know, if you go with the Stickas and put this up to 20, you're now able to get all 20 in. So now you're looking at 60 attacks. All out attack.
If you charge, right? Or no, that's what the chop is. You get the +1. Okay.
Right. So, and that's the other thing, is that you could even do them as a unit of 10, and then now, instead of, so if you go with the unit of 10, charge them in with the +1 attack, you're now looking at 10 for 4.
Right.
So you're doing 40 attacks. Like I said, I kind of like the Stickas, where you have them,
right,
where you're doing 60, and then out of those 60, you can expect at least 10 6s. So you're doing mortal wounds from that, from what's his face. Those attacks continue.
Sure.
So now out of the 60, if you decide to give him the all-out attack, which I don't know why you wouldn't with a block of 20 Ardboys,
right,
you now have 50% of those attacks going through. So you have 30 attacks after you've done 10 mortals. Then you have 15 attacks going through. Going on a 3-up save, you have 4. So then you have, what, 8 more attacks going through? 7 more, somewhere in that ballpark.
So what would it be? 60 cut in half is 30. Wounding on 3s though, so we're gonna get 20 of those through. Let's say after it's against a 3-up armor save, so we're cutting that in half. So 10 of these get through on top of your 10 mortals.
So you're looking at 10 mortals. Then you got 10 more damage, and then each time this unit fights, after all of its attacks have been resolved, pick one enemy unit with 1 inch, and roll a die for each model that's within 1 inch of the unit. So the front row of 10, or hell, we'll just stick with 10.
Yeah.
You're rolling die, you're looking at probably another 2 mortals there.
Yeah, 1 or 2 mortals, which nothing wrong with a couple of extra mortals.
And then you have the attack back, where, again, now you do 2-up save. You have to push it. You have to push it.
Yep. Very dangerous unit to just sit on top of an objective because it's hard to move.
Right. Yeah. So I think these guys absolutely have a place. I am terrified if I ever see a full Ardboy list at a tournament.
Be very interesting. Yeah. I'm interested to see it.
Yeah. So most, I mean, because I like the last thing, I want to go well done. But like, again, I like the intent. I don't think it was properly pulled off. I still like the idea of these supplemental PDFs coming out to kind of like hot patch things.
And let's have a clap for getting some new models in a range that like is small. Right. So let's hit up the other small ranges with a couple new models.
I do hope that this is the flagship for the Fire Slayers and the
Fire Slayers. KO. They can kind of have us. Yeah, I feel like we have a lot in our range too, though, so it might not be right.
That's probably
a few.
I know there's other, not just the armies I play.
Right, but there are a couple other armies that you're like, they don't really have a lot. Right.
Yeah, I hope this is where armies that need stuff start getting stuff.
Right.
And I hope this is what the next edition is. I kind of wish that, again, that's things like I try and think about like the company and their capacity, where I think this edition should have been the ones that are desperate, like the Iron Jaws, Fire Slayers, and KO, and whoever else gets 2 units or whatever, and then next edition, everyone else that kind of needed stuff gets 1 or 2 as well, or resculpts. But
right.
Overall for this supplement here, I would probably give it a C+.
Yeah, not the greatest thing in the world, but hey, got new models. I think it got a lot of people interested in Iron Jaws again, and I think what's going to determine is obviously sales on these new models. Did this get enough people excited for this cool new idea for GW to be like, hey, you remember that army we haven't sold in a while? Yeah, well, we sold a lot of it this month. So
yeah, I think my main issue with these are the units that they did right are awesome, and the units they didn't do well, they're just like no reason, like not even like a narrative. If your narrative is that you want to lose,
right.
Done.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along here. September 13th. There's not a lot to talk about here. Weta Workshop. So for people who don't know Weta Workshop, it is a company, I believe, in New Zealand.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head where they are based.
I think, but they are an incredible fabricator, and they make some amazing things. They recently, or the last thing I saw about them is one of their head designers in his spare time was making a wargaming table. And
I want to see that video.
It was unbelievable.
I'm sure. These guys are very creative folks, and
so I'm so interested to see what they're doing. They didn't say anything other than that they are doing stuff. So I expect to see something probably on October 14th. Again, I don't know what they're going to do, because like Weta is, the other thing about Weta is,
oh, here we go. Warhammer is already known for making the best fantasy miniatures in the world, and now its legendary characters will step from the tabletop to a brand new series of 1/6 scale premium statues by Weta.
Yeah.
So we're going to get some very interesting busts and stuff, and just giant models that will be what you see at painting competitions for a little while then.
Definitely. Now, again, the biggest issue is like, are these going to be $1,200?
Only one way to find out.
Right. Like, are these going to be $450? Like, at what price point do you... Because, like, if you come out at the price of an army...
I don't think they're too worried about the price on this. I feel like this is going to be one of those, especially because of the scale they want. 1/6. That's pretty good size. I feel like this is going to be more for, not for me and you, honestly, a higher end.
I mean, unless they have a Grogny.
Right. But it's going to be for people who like, I'm a very good painter, and I'm going to paint this once and take it to competitions, and like, this is it.
Are they going to paint it? Like, is it going to be painted already? I'm interested to see what it'll be.
It'll be interesting. Be very interesting.
Moving right along, September 14th, we had a lot of Warhammer. We had a lot of Age of Sigmar in 1 week.
Yeah, we did.
Which is one of the reasons why I had no problem about doing this recording this week instead of next week, because I feel like we're not getting too much this week.
No.
So they did their... we had our battle scroll, where they changed Rupture a little bit to affect only your enemy incarnate, which, I mean, that's what it should have been the first time around.
Probably, yeah.
I still would have liked to have seen Merciless Blizzard come down a little bit, or something, because that's a little...
They're fully expecting you to use the extra die to cast that.
Right.
So...
so, let's see. Let's get on here. There was very few changes in here that bothered me. Again, all of the general handbook changes I thought were fine. Like I said, the Merciless Blizzard not being able to be cast by a wizard that was just teleported in, it's fine.
Probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The no risk without reward, I'm glad to see they dialed that back. I don't think we'll see this at tournaments, but if we were to roll randomly on a table and this was what came up with this change, I'd be that's fine. It's fine. We can keep playing. Let's see what else did we get. So for order under Stormcast, oh yeah, we got our Stormcast got their pity battle tactic, which still really isn't that easy. Like.
No, it really isn't. It really isn't.
What? Okay, well, give me. Okay, I guess I'll just continue taking the broken stuff that I wasn't struggling with winning in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
Some change to Geometrica. Unfortunately, I haven't followed Lumineth in a while, so I don't remember what they used to do.
Okay.
I don't really see anyone complaining about it, so.
It mustn't be.
Nobody cares, or it's good.
Yeah.
I like to see the change on the Deep Thinkers. That definitely just kind of needed updated with the time.
What was it then? It was remove the cannot be modified. Okay.
Right,
okay.
Right. And then, what do you think about your Idnef?
I mean, the Futh one, little change here. It's the unmodified hit roll for an attack is a 6. It scores 2 hits instead of 1. I believe that it was it's just set a 6, and I mean I don't think it's changing a whole lot, but I think it just changed the spirit of the rule. All the points changes were rather kind to us, which I couldn't complain about. I think I was actually telling you in the group chat at one point that from it wasn't even a full year ago when I took down to the last major event I went to, which was Brewhammer. I think I have almost 250 points now free to play with because everything just keeps going down. Well, I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah. So for our Grand Alliance Chaos, we had Maggotkin got
they got a battle tactic. Yeah.
Battle tactic. I'm in such an interesting headspace when it comes to the Nurgle book because I still think it's a really good book. I think that I would love to see the flies go up and the mortals go down. Like on the foot, like the Blight Kings and stuff like that, and because I think their rules are good. It's just you can't put enough of them on the table, and if you could get like one more unit or 2 more units on,
and they did what mostly down. Let me scroll down. I think it's mostly down for Maggotkin.
Not enough
in this.
Not enough of the units needed
because of how much of this. How much everything costs in the first place. It's not quite enough to get anything else back in. Yeah.
I'd like to remind you, was my complaint of the book when we reviewed it.
Right. It is that everything just costs too much to start with, and it's a little difficult to build an army.
I don't know who internally is playing Slaves of Darkness, and what the prize is for the tournament that they're going to.
It is, hey, those chosen. They're okay. Hey, if we lower that unit's points down by 10, that gives me that 30 or 20 extra points I need. I can get this endless spell
I can put that
pushed in there now.
Oh, God almighty. All right, we'll get to points in a minute. Jesus Christ, you're killing me. All right. Alliance Death, I apologize. I don't know Night Haunted well enough.
Afraid to Fight. I couldn't tell you what this one was.
And then Osiarch Bone Reapers. It's not bad. It's fine.
Change the last paragraph to read, if this unit is an Immortal Guard or Necropolis Stalkers unit, you can heal up to 3 wounds allocated to the unit. Or if no wounds have been allocated to that unit, roll dice on 4. Okay.
So previously, basically what it was is you were healing, putting them on, and then healing them. So now what it is it's you put one guy, 1 wound, heal it again, that guy gets healed, and then now you're maxed out. Bring a new guy. So it's fine. I totally understand the lore of vampire change.
Okay.
Still devastated.
However,
Still devastated. I never got to play it as written. Because the casting value was very high, and basically what you're doing is you're just doing a mortal wound to everything.
Right. Just, we're going to start plucking at everything. Yep.
It was amazing. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, you could still say I picked the heroes.
Right.
So.
Right. Because it is still Battlefield wide. So.
Right.
But yeah, a little sad.
I understand. I understand. No changes down in destruction.
Destruction.
You're perfect.
Perfect. We want Cruel Boys. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Yes. We have solved destruction. That is a solved piece of this game.
Put it on the shelf.
We're done, everybody.
Okay, so Idneth.
I mean, it's green. It's green the whole way down.
20,
I
30.
think like a year and a half, whenever this book came out, and the turtle, the Leviathan, was 500 points. I said that was wrong. And, it just keeps going down. Again, now it's at 400. So,
I haven't been to enough tournaments to really, really be able to reflect on all of this here. But my experience is that you do very well at these events with your army.
I do okay. I wouldn't say really well, but I do okay.
Again,
I can 3-2. That 4-1 every once in a while, but I'm not winning anything.
But again, like, here's the thing, though, is like, I think we are, and I could be wrong, I think we are, in general, 3-2 players. That, with the right army, with the right opponents, we could do 4-1.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So, I think this army is playing at your level. Again, like,
I think it helps that I enjoy it a lot, too.
Yes, exactly.
I find enjoyment out of it.
But I'm just saying, like, I cannot, for the life of me, beat your Idneth, and I can't figure out how I would beat your Idneth. Out of all of the armies I had, if I spent all of my time to getting all my armies up to Razor's Edge compatibility or competitiveness, I don't know if I could still beat you. Just the damage is just way too high. So I don't know how they're not better.
Because I feel like a lot of their life depends on the turn roll. It is, did I put myself in position to win or lose this turn roll? And if I lose it, does my opponent just kill me?
Unless it's so.
Well, even then, you still, like, a lot of the army likes its buffs from charging.
Yeah.
Or is an opponent smart enough to be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm not going to engage you. We're fine. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's an enigma to me that my brain cannot comprehend.
It's okay.
Seraphon? It's an interesting...
Star Master goes up 15. Yeah. I'd forgotten that we had anything on 5s.
Interesting.
Yeah. Especially after you having spent some time with the book as of late. What do you think?
I think it's very interesting. It does a lot, because the thing is, I think the Slann are the strongest unit in the book.
Okay.
But I think you need them.
Right. One of those things you can't get away without it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So to just go, you know what? 15 points, 290.
Doesn't feel like much of anything.
Now, it did screw the list that Brad sent me.
Oh, okay.
Because he had me at 2K exactly.
That ended that idea real quick.
So that's 2015 now.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm like, okay, what massive block of shit do I remove now?
Right.
But it did not impact any of my personal list building. But again, at the same point, I'm not the kind of douchebag that's going to go, okay, I'll bring 4 Slaawn. Which is kind of what I think the big problem was, because they have one spell that can be cast any number of times.
Right, that's true.
So I think the only thing that really needed to be nipped in the bud, outside of, again, having an overhaul of like the points of like that summoning table, which this was not the battle scroll for it. And on top of that, I also think the way that they figure out their stats, I think Matt Rose is a very intelligent individual. Again, Matt Rose is the man who is the head of Army Balance right now.
Okay.
I think they're looking at stats from here, and I think they need to look at them from here. Like, here's
from the
stats,
bottom up.
Like, boom, like they're too high up, because what they do is they look and go, okay, Seraphon is right now at a 52% win rate. That's fine.
Right.
It's in the ballpark. Move on.
Right.
Instead of, what they need to do is go, okay, Coalesced is right now at about a 48%. Starborn is at like a 70%. Like,
right.
you know, it's not, those are just numbers I pulled out of my butt, but like,
but
they're not breaking it down to look at it like that. They're going, well, we're seeing a lot of Slaawn being taken, so let's hit the Slaawn. And I think this was an accidental correct move.
Okay.
Because again, the real issue is people were spamming Slaawn, casting a million spells, and summoning 10 Saurus Warriors every turn.
I mean, that sounds good.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, that sounds like it'll work.
Hey, how do you want to win? I think I'm going to put an extra 20 wounds on the table every turn that does mortal wounds on a 6-up at the end of the combat. Like, okay.
I think that'd help me. Yeah, I think that would help me.
So for the Stormcast,
yeah, green down the board, nothing major. Might help you squeeze in a thing here or there.
Well,
go ahead.
Stupid. It's stupid.
Okay.
It's dumb. Like, just stupid. Night Relictor, 10 points.
Right.
Who's taking
not doing anything.
Fucking Night Relictor.
Right.
Ooh.
Yep.
Like, okay, so Annihilators, Grand Hammers, Sequitors, not Sequitors, I'm sorry, Vindictors, and putting the Chariot back to where the Chariot was.
Right.
Fine. Those are all fine. Those actually are impactful and meaningful changes.
Right.
Lord Imperator is good. It's good.
Sure.
The Lord Relictor, again, going back to where he was. Good.
Right. Yeah.
No one's bringing Sequitors. I mean, you might as well just put on there, like, the Hunters and just...
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Vindicators are the same points as them. You know what I'm taking?
Right. So, like... Again, I would have liked to have seen them do a little bit more. I would have liked to have seen the dragons come down. Like...
Yeah, the big dragons could have come down a touch, yeah.
I mean, because again, like, they're so close. So close. Same thing, the other thing that's missing on here, the Vigilors.
Yeah, they could have. They don't see much of anything right now, yeah.
So, well, again, that's because of the major miss that whenever they hit something, you get a +1 to hit. If you did a +1 to wound instead, or increase rend or something, because they don't need, like, Stormcast don't need +1 to hit. We could do that ourselves.
Right, yeah.
It's the +1 to wound because we're so few in... It's such an elite force with so few attacks that you need the bonus to buff to both in order to be good. I would like to have seen them come down to like 110, especially considering I think they're only 2 attacks per, and it comes in a block of 5. So you're talking about like 11 attacks with the Sergeant.
Okay. Nothing to write home about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So again, like I said, not enough, and put in weird places like Liberators. No one's bringing Liberators. Night Relictors. No one's
Right.
bringing Night Relictors. Praetors are fine.
Yeah.
Over to Slanesh. How the Blitzbarb Archers only got a +10?
Because they had gotten a -10 not too long ago, I think. That's why.
They need to be 180, and if anything goes lower than that, there's some funny stuff going on under the table. That's
I mean, yeah. To be honest, as the guy whose Reavers just went down 10 points, I can't say anything right now.
You shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your dirty mouth. But again, Blitzbarb Archers are also a little more scary than Reavers.
That's true. They help the game plan a lot more.
Now, what I would have liked to have seen with Slanesh as far as points down, Keeper Secrets.
Okay.
That thing is... The War Scroll's already not good enough. So, even though I don't think a point change is going to be the end-all, be-all, it would at least help make people not feel so bad for putting one on the table.
Right.
On to Nurgle. Again, this is basically going, oops, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Because he's basically just reversing them of almost all the point changes. The Harbinger of Decay should have been 190 from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, with all these point changes that I'm looking at, no list actually changed.
Right. Right. You just go, pull out your list from 6 months ago.
Right. Yeah. Just change what the points say on the side, and you're good.
Yeah. Like I said, I would have liked to have seen Blight Kings come down to 220, maybe 210. Because again,
okay,
they're so good. They're so
they
good,
are.
And I don't.
They are.
And everyone says how bad they are, and I'm like, when was the last time you fought a block of them? Like.
I mean, you haven't. And I feel like that's because everyone who's running these at the top level are running a bunch of flies.
Right. And again, I would have liked to have seen the flies come up because
of that. Yeah.
Honestly, this is one of the big issues is, and I feel like we almost have to see something in 4th edition about unit spam.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And so, like, because again, it's one of those things where they're not making war scrolls carefully enough. And so you have, look, we came out with an army that has 12 war scrolls. 2 of them are great. 10 of them are meh.
Right, yeah.
So then I'm going to take 2,000 points of 2 war scrolls.
Yeah. Well,
and
I got to look into it a little bit more.
And then GW is going to go, why not balanced? Like...
I hear you there.
But like I said, I don't know how they would do it, but I have a feeling 4th edition, there's going to be some sort of war scroll limitation that everyone's going to gripe and groan about. Especially, again, going back to KO and Fire Slayers, because they'll be hit hardest from any sort of... Like, if they only go, you only bring a war scroll twice, or you only bring it 3 times. Because that's the other thing, is like, even if you said, if it's not battle line, most of these armies that have spammable units, you can get them to be battle line.
Yeah, that's true. So that's true.
You can't even do that.
Yeah, I've messed around with making a bunch of eel lists again. They aren't as good as they used to be in 2nd, but you know, it's doable.
Skaven, who cares? Slaves of Darkness. Again, what dick are you jerking off under that table to get this? Like,
yeah. No, I feel like I see Chosen in every list. Varangard needed the good. Yep. Warriors too. I mean, I feel like every list still rocked a 20 block or at least a 10 block of Warriors in there at some point.
Talk about an army that doesn't need anything. Because again, this is what we'll be eventually getting to with cities. There is, all you're doing with this army is dialing in. You're just dialing in the glass plates. That's all you're doing. You're
Yeah.
just getting that down to a laser, and as soon as you get that laser focused, then nothing's going to stop it. Like,
Right.
you're going to go from a very hot sunbeam to a laser before you know it. Night Haunt, sure.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen too much from them as of late, so a couple little
bizarre.
downs.
Like, I read that
Because I feel like the army should be good.
right.
You know?
I read the battle tome, and I'm like, this looks horrible to fight against.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
And I fought against them once, and they were very debilitating. But again, I also fought a very capable player. So,
Well,
yeah, I think that's kind of it. Is like there's a lot of these, and I think this is one thing. Like with Idneth, Idneth is this very interesting. It's
an intricate,
that draws the attention of newer players. So you have newer players going into it, and then the veterans going, I don't want to paint all that detail. They're not doing that well in the meta. I'll play something else.
Right.
And so it's like, so you have people like you who are a little more proficient and also know the army inside out that do a little bit better than, like, you're unrepresentative of the meta because of the player base, not necessarily the community.
Right.
Bone Reapers,
Yeah, I feel like Nighthawk might be in that same spot. But yeah.
Exactly. Because again, that's one of the things people see Ghosts, they go, "Ooh, I can throw contrast at that," and
Yeah, and I can play it. And a lot of these old models are found cheap because they had themselves a book or a battle thing with Stormcast at one time, and so.
So for the Bone Reapers, I don't know if there's any real point changes here that's going to make a difference.
I mean, Tagatros going up pretty substantial, but making your main battle line go down 20 points.
Right. I'm like, oh, are you going to do a single reinforcement to your Mortec guard? Yes. Wash.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I don't know what we did at the end here.
So on to Soulblight.
Yeah. You've been seen, Soulblight. I think that's what this was.
And here's what I think is funny is they did all this, and I could probably do an entire episode on analyzing this. So the choices you have for your battle line are zombies, skeletons, dire wolves, fellbats.
Yep. So they said you were taking less of your army, full stop.
And it's like, so first off, no one is abusing fellbats.
No, not that I know of. Like, I'm very curious where the +10 on fellbats came from.
It just seemed like this is what GW does. We have a problem. Raise points on everything.
Right.
Raise them too high to the point where people stop playing the army because it's no longer fun. And then once we've we'll tie the belt around the arm. Once the hand turns white and can no longer clench, we'll put some blood back into it, see what moves still. Like, it's
right.
Again, here's like the issue. So like when it comes to Dead Walker zombies, again, talking about unit span.
Right.
2 units of 40 zombies is a lot to move. But it is not unstoppable.
Okay.
Because again, you're talking about 40 wounds.
On nothing for a save.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your Reavers alone could take out 1 block in 1 turn.
Yeah, I just said the foot thralls, 10 block of foot thralls into them and mop up at least half of the unit.
Right,
all
exactly.
On its
own. You can wipe that out. So, So changing points is not the proper course of action for this army. Yes, points could be changed, but so not only are you changing points, because to me, changing points is a little bit of a deterrence towards taking that unit. Like, We think Slann are too good, and we don't want you taking so many, so we're raising the points of them.
Sure.
So, when it comes to Soulblight, we think zombies are too powerful, so we're raising them by 30 points, which means we are raising every unit of them at least 60 points, if not 90 points.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they were always taken at least reinforced once.
You have to. 20 zombies does not have any staying power. Like
20 zombies do not do a thing. Yeah.
Right, like 20 zombies versus a knight questor. I'm like, if he gets to strike first. Ooh.
Yeah.
No, that's an exaggeration. Knight questor's not moving 20 zombies, but you get the point.
I don't know, but still.
So to say, okay, we don't want you taking zombies. We don't want you taking skeletons. We don't want you taking dire wolves, and we don't want you taking fellbats. Maybe you shouldn't change points on all of those.
Right.
Like, let's leave fellbats
There's got to be
and skeletons where they are.
Sure, and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how about instead of, like, trying to, like I said, instead of trying to kill the limb before we figure out where the problem is,
right.
Let's just go, oh, wait, there's blood right there. Let's apply pressure there.
Let's clean up, yeah.
Again, like corpse carts, they were 80 points, but here's the thing is they are on a 5-up save.
Right.
If you are, and the only time corpse carts are a problem is if you don't have any range in your army.
Yes, which there are a few armies with that problem. But
But again, I mean, whenever I have an issue with some of my armies, I'm always told, you're always going to have that matchup, quit bitching.
Fair enough.
So, if you are one of those armies that doesn't have the ability to deal with something on the other side of a block of guys, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's very fragile, and it's very important.
Right.
Belladama, yes. Go up. Skeletons, again. I mean, 110 is not going to break the bank. It's not the end of the world. Same thing. Like Fellblat's 90 points is not the end of the world. I think the dire wolves were unnecessary.
I mean, yeah, everyone took them, but it was because they were a good run out and grab something early.
Right. But yeah, like I said,
they're already expensive to begin with, so yeah.
So there's no point changes, in my opinion. There's no point changes for zombies that is going to work until you point them to the level that people can't take them. The issue with that is the War Scroll's too good. I think they need to go back to what they were. Like, change both the zombie and change the corpse card. So, I think the zombie just needs to go to 1 attack, 1 inch, 5s, and hell, if you want to put the mortal wound over onto the wound, instead of
that might help a lot. Yeah.
Sure, because now you're saying, okay, you're actually biting him and hurting him. Like, it's not, you're just not dinking
I didn't just hit him,
And then let the corpse card help with the recursion. Because, like, it's weird that the corpse card is what...
is giving out. I mean, it's cool it's giving out buffs, but I don't know why we're not just hooking another body and set it up on the ground to go in there and attack.
Also, what I wouldn't mind, because if you actually look at the model, the thing on the back of the corpse cart is a necromancer. In fantasy, it was a optional mount for necromancers. I would rather just see this actually become a necromancer on corpse cart, and then
that can be fun.
Make the necromancer have a mount and just kind of. But like I said, change points all you want. It's not going to. Where we are with Soulblight is the perfect example of why points changes are the last thing to work.
Right. These are the fine tweaks.
Right.
Yeah.
You are not going to get an army. You're not going to take a broken army and fix it with point changes. All you're going to do is take a broken army and make it unplayable.
Right, and set it on the shelf. Yeah.
So that's our Tactics of Andor and Tor battle scroll.
There we go.
But overall, B.
Yeah, not bad.
Like I said, it's not too impactful. But I think it'll help some people. Like you damn fishy bastards.
I'll take it.
And then, of course, coming out just today, September 25th, Scramble Over the Scales of Talaxis. I feel like we have about 18 rumor engines in here.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's unfortunate because I think a lot of these were people going, this is definitely new Seraphon stuff, right? And
I knew it from get-go. And I have several dozen videos of proof of evidence
of saying that. Yeah.
Now though, thinking about it though, looking at all this, I really feel like I need to like go back and see if I can pick up some of these boxes if I want to go Seraphon, so I can have a Seraphon table whenever I'm ready.
There you go. That'd be cool.
Because again, like the rope ladders don't work very well in the full game, but everything else is fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
But yeah,
I wish there was a little bit more like line of sight blocking for Warcry in here.
I agree.
But,
yeah, if these walls were I guess walls are a little low.
Yeah,
if
they are
a little higher.
Be a lot more onto it. Yeah, if these couple like 2-3 walls were at least tall enough that maybe an ogre couldn't see over them, I'd be done. Yeah.
Yeah, like a 5-inch wall or something.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. Switching over. Okay, so now we have our palette cleansers here, for we have the Rumor Engine from September 5th. I don't know if you've been noticing this, but they've been getting a little flighty with the text.
Yeah, it's a little odd at times.
I wonder if they allow the person that does these articles outside every once in a while.
Yeah. They start noticing them and they're like, ooh, we should unlock him from the basement.
With that being said, we have a rusty, corroded spear coming out of the mouth of a skeleton.
Right. So it's obviously a terrain piece of some sort.
I don't know.
You don't know. This is one of those spikes for something, even like Warcry or something, where it's just going to be in there.
I feel like it might be a weapon to something. I'm feeling weapon.
A weapon? I don't know.
I mean, imagine if it's like, if we're getting a centerpiece model for Flesh Eater Court.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's all right.
I guess.
I mean, because
I struggle with he has a skeleton still on his weapon, I guess, is the problem for me.
I mean, they do. I mean, if it's a big, like, imagine it's like a big bat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, or it could be a giant skeleton guy or something. I mean,
sure.
All right. It's all right. No, you know what? You won me over. You won me over. Terrain piece for Warcry. All right. Moving over to the 12th. Again, a ridiculous article.
Yeah. This made up for the word count in the last article.
Yeah.
Interesting, though.
I do like that they bring out the Warcom Illuminati. They finally...
Yes.
So that's now canonical.
Of course, it is true now. And just like James' workshop.
I love their dip. They're little, and we're just gonna touch the hot plate real quick here with their
right.
Don't worry, Adept. All you have to do is report your suspicions to Facebook and Twitter or X or something. I don't ask questions, just do.
I mean, they said, I don't know what you call it. I still call it Twitter. So,
so with that being said, We're looking at like a machete thing.
Yeah, some sort of strange machete. It feels much more along the lines of 40K, I think. I'm about to be disagreed with. Let me hear it.
I just don't know what this would be in 40K. Like, so the only thing that says 40K to me are the teeth.
Right. Yeah, the serrations are what make me go, this is 40K.
The simplicity of the blade.
Right. The top of the blade is what makes me wonder.
The top of the blade, like the blade style, the I don't know what you want to call it, the fitting, where you have like the swoopy bit.
Yeah.
And even the eloquence of the hilt at the bottom, to me, says it's something AOS.
Okay.
What that is, I don't know.
Right, that's the hard part here. Yeah.
I mean, so if we wanted to go 40K, this could be if they put a kit together of like Thousand Sun human cultists.
Okay.
I could see them having this.
All right.
If that was like their uniform weapon, like a glaive or something.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a Catachan Zinch thing.
Yes, I almost wanted to say Catachan, but it's too fancy.
Right. But it's also too brutish for Eldar.
100%. Yes, that's far too thick of a blade.
Maybe a Tomb King's.
Maybe.
But
maybe it's some new Tomb King model. But that is, I would expect a skull on it somewhere, though.
That's right down, right below.
Oh, it got cut off by the picture. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the problem is it also seems a little too modern for Tomb Kings.
Right.
So, Tomb Kings coming back to Age of Sigmar. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and then we have again another.
I believe this is a Tyrannid model stepping on top of a Tyrannid skull.
Tyrannid, really?
Yeah.
Is that how their feet look?
I think so. Now I gotta look it up. Let me rip on over to the webpage here. I need the 40K page. I think this is what some of the just foot models, their feet end up looking like, the little gaunts and that. Or they have hooves. Now I'm wondering. Second guessing myself now. Yep, gaunts have hooves. I was wrong.
Of course they have hooves. Why wouldn't they have hooves? Let's see.
Yep. Who has toes?
That is weird. Well, so the one I'm looking at has a hoof. Nope, never mind.
Yep.
Gene Stealers? Could be
Gene Stealers.
Yeah, okay, so Gene Stealers are like that.
Yeah, they do have the toes. It's more foot-like, though, I think. Their feet. And this is a weird, like, chicken claw going on.
Well, let me see what the current ghouls look like from... Because they have similar feet, but they're not as segmented.
Right.
Well, that's what the Crypt Horse. Let me see, where's the actual ghouls? Temporarily out of stock. What could that mean?
They can't keep up anymore, quite honestly.
Let's see. Okay, so they got regular people feet. Okay, so no segments there.
Yeah. No.
Let's see. What about...
Someone's screaming at this screen right now because they know exactly what that's from.
What about skinks?
No, I don't know. I don't think the
skinky feet. I'm looking at skinky feet right
now. Yeah, okay. You have a look at some skinky feet. I'm wondering.
Oh. That's not bad.
Not bad, huh?
I don't think now's the time that they're going to go back and, well, of course, who knows? This could come out in 4 years from now. So,
Right, exactly. They'll hold on to this one, put it in the back pocket. We'll get there later.
It's kind of what you see right at the top of the calf is kind of what's
throwing you off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Very interesting. I'll be excited to see what this actually is. It'll be a war cry something or other that we never saw coming from left field.
That's the other thing is if you look, this is probably the base.
I agree,
So this probably is an Underworld's warband thing.
Yeah, because it's a pretty fancy base there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So who knows what it is? It is Tzeentch Cultus for Warcry Warbands.
I'm gonna say it's a harpy for a. It's gonna be a new monster for either beasts or slaves.
Okay.
There we go. All right. So let's move on here. Let's do a little digging into the cities of Sigmar here.
Yeah.
So, since Games Workshop, since this is the channel Games Workshop doesn't want you to see, we don't get anything ahead of time.
Yeah, like you're darn right we don't.
Like the mainstream.
Oh boy.
So we're going to go underground here. Okay, all right. We get it. You got the box. All right. Okay, so first off, let's see here. So, orders. Are you familiar with orders?
I am. It's a very interesting idea that you stop, look at all your heroes, and say, I'm going to give you this order, but you put like a face-down puck or card beside everyone to be like, this is your order. And nobody knows what you're going to do, but you're going to reveal it pretty soon anyway, so it's weird that we're doing it this way.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
I guess there are a few that say reveal at the end of the enemy charge phase or something like that.
I'm personally not a huge fan of this.
Okay.
Because all it's going to do, this is kind of the one thing that I've been griping about with like the current GHB. This is something that is going to make good players better, bad players worse.
And everyone who forgets to move that thing with the hero, very upset.
Right. I mean, and also, like, it doesn't read as Cities of Sigmar. Like, again,
right.
They've only kind of touched on Cities of Sigmar in books. They really haven't touched on them too much as far as rules-wise goes.
Right.
But, like, to me, this kind of like makes it feel like a hyper-trained, militaristic, looking greased engine.
Looking at the humans that we have now in this current book, I think there's an argument to be made there that this is more of a formal army now.
Well, so here's the thing, though, is I disagree. While I do agree that it's a formal army now, I do think it is someone went to the local tavern and went, hey, put down your
ale. Let's go.
Put down your ale. Put this tabard on. It's extra large.
Right.
And, like, it's like, oh, I have eczema. I don't care. Like, you won't after a couple of fights with Night Haunt.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, like, again, in my mind, Cities of Sigmar is, did you watch Game of Thrones or read the books?
Yeah, I've watched a few episodes, yeah.
To me, this army, like, should feel like the Night Watch a little bit, where as opposed to, like, as opposed to, like, standing watch over a wall out in the middle of nowhere, these are the guys on the walls of all the cities who are like, if that shit gets through,
this is not going to be good, yeah.
And it's like, so it is these desperate people who are outmatched, outgunned, underarmed, undertrained, and they have to, like, like they have, like the only thing they have is to result, or to lean on their resolve.
Right. To lean on their religion, to fight back, and yeah.
And to me, Orders does not cover that.
No, it definitely doesn't cover that idea. No.
This, to me, Orders seems more like something that would have come out of OBR.
Okay. Yeah.
And on top of that, this is also something. Again, I for anyone that's listened to more than one episode of us talking about Cities of Sigmar, this is all going to be old hat to you. I can't stand the segregation in this book.
Like, I know. No, we've both always been of the same mind that the kit should come with 6 humans, 2 dwarves, 2 elves, or some shit like that, exactly, for a 10-man squad, and there we go.
I mean, it should be like... And what's funny is, like, this is almost the complete opposite of what I wanted to see. And again, I always knew that they weren't going to do what I wanted, where you had a choice between what race did you want for the captain, and then that gives a small buff to...
Right, yeah.
Kind of like putting your, Tzeentch, or not Tzeentch. You're doing like a the mirror would be City or Slaves of Darkness, where you put the mark of a Chaos God.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Where I felt like that would have been perfect.
Right.
But for this, it's like, not only do you not get that, it's the no, you have to pick a human.
Right, yeah.
You have to pick a dwarf, you have to pick an elf. Like I said, overall, very disappointed with it. I don't think it scratches the narrative. I don't think it plays with it very well. And I also think that it's going to be like one of those things where, like, again, Alex, if you listen to this, which I doubt you will, we love you dearly, but this is going to add an hour to our games.
Yeah.
But what do you think? It sounds like you like Orders.
Yes, I think it's a cool idea. To me, it gives a weird element of, ooh, what's that he's hiding? Except for, like, I feel like there's not enough orders, so I can figure out what you're hiding. Rather,
right.
Like, oh, it's 1 of 5, and 3 of these don't make sense. So
that's the other thing is, like, at this point, it's like, you basically, you're very close with your family. Family knows when you're hiding something. You go to Thanksgiving dinner. They already know what you're not telling them.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, high play, worthless. Low play, nightmare.
Yeah.
Ooh, look, this is how to build these guys. So,
yeah.
The episode GW didn't want you to see. Come on, where are we going?
There you go.
We're getting there. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay. Just a little bit of scrolling to get our way down there.
Yeah.
Start. After that is the enhancements, unless you want to discuss some of these orders.
We already have a long enough episode ready. I think we'll just...
I just realized how long this episode's gone already, so yeah.
So we'll just kind of look at... so we won't even get... I'm not even going to get into the rules of the free cities. I just... the pros and the cons. I really like the amount of free cities here. I think it's really cool. I think out of all of the armies to get rid of the coalition rules, I don't think this was the army to start with that. I think it's a little silly that Stormcast are no longer coalition. I think it's a little silly that there's no coalition with the armies that they're supposed to be set up with. I still like that, things like Living Cities have rules that do incorporate Sylvaneth. but like there's no more KO, and like one thing in all of the books, KO are constantly helping out.
Right.
Like,
yeah, they're at least showing up the trade with all of these places at a minimum. Yeah.
Right. I'm hoping that we eventually get something about Harkonnen.
Yeah, that could be very fun.
I was interested to see rules in here. And the simple fact that we didn't was kind of...
Yeah.
Now, the other way that I would have liked to have seen this, which is a little bit more of a stretch, is if you start seeing... So, like, instead of seeing Settlers Gain here, you see Settlers Gain in the next Lumineth book.
Oh. So you could coalesce in the cities into Lumineth instead of the other way around. Right. Okay.
You know, so it'd be an interesting way to do that.
Yeah.
And that way you could have it a little bit more focused. But I think it's fine that way anyways. So let's see here. Okay. Let's take a look at these grand strategies. So
sure.
Exemplar of the Academy Marshal.
Yes.
When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if you complete at least 4 battle... Oh, dear God.
At least 4 battle tactics, and every battle tactic you completed was from For Honor, from this book.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't even read the 6 battle tactics down
I'm not
there.
Taking that one.
Next.
Hold the high ground. When this battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there are any friendly units within 12 inches of the center of the battlefield and no enemy units within 12 inches of the center battlefield. Like, this is
in a weird spot.
One,
no.
But I don't like it because...
That's a lot of you.
Yeah, I mean, I mean...
That 12-inch circle's large. You don't realize it until...
Large.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, again, because it's within the center. So it is a 24-inch area in the middle of the board.
Yep.
Ain't gonna happen.
It's big. Yeah.
2 feet. 2 feet. Yep. 2 of your what are we now? 60 inches. So that boils down to 5 feet.
Yeah.
Lower 5 feet.
It's 5 foot. Yeah.
So 2 of your 5 feet you have to control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reclaim for Sigmar! And when the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there is at least 1 friendly City of Sigmar unit wholly within each quarter of the... What is with this new quarter of the battlefield thing? It's stupid.
I don't know.
Stop it. It's dumb. My God. So dumb.
You gotta have 4 units still alive.
Yeah, which in this book...
1 in each quarter. Yeah.
Banners held high. When this battle ends, each player totals the number... Okay, so you're already way...
You've already asked too much. Can you count this? It's not something I ever thought about in my army.
Totals the number of standard bearers and units with the totem keyword in their army that are on the battlefield. If your total is higher, you complete this grand strategy.
So here's the weird part. There's some armies you'll just win.
Right.
Because you showed up.
So
long as you keep 1 alive.
If I had to take one of these, that's what I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah,
also,
I agree.
Reclaim for Sigmar, I think it should have been pick a terrain piece in your opponent's territory.
Your opponent's deployment zone or something, yeah.
And if there's not one wholly within, you may pick one partially.
Right. No enemy units within X inches at the end of battle. 6 inches, something like that.
So battle tactics. Bring full arms to bear. Pick 1 enemy unit. You complete this battle tactic if that unit is destroyed this turn and was suppressed as a result of the suppressing fire order. So that's not bad because it's do the thing you plan to do.
Right. So good. Okay. Not bad to start with.
All right, so raise the banner because we're all about banners now.
Yes.
Banner.
We've already decided we're holding them high.
So we're
Now
holding
we're
our
raising
banners
it.
high, and then we got to
Yep.
raise them to hold them high. So pick one objective controlled by your opponent. You complete this tactic if you control that objective until the end of the turn in a friendly free guild commander corps that includes a Great Herald contests it. Holy hell. Not that hard, but it took a while to get to that well.
Right. There was just a lot of words there, but doable. Doable.
Yeah,
Take something with essentially one of the battle line units.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Black Powder Bombardment. You complete this battle tactic if 3 or more enemy units are destroyed in your shooting phase in this turn. Ooh.
Ooh. It's a tough one. That's a big ask. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not doing that one.
I mean, you better have built for it, and I hope that they never reach in close combat.
Mount the charges. Pick one objective controlled by your opponent. You complete this tactic if you control that objective at the end of this turn, and every friendly unit that contests it has it.
Friendly contested has a mounts, and made a charge move this turn.
Okay.
So all your cavalry had to charge, take it, and make sure you didn't accidentally put a foot in of a foot dude, because now you failed this.
So this might have also worked for Cruel Boys, but have you watched Battleheart or Braveheart?
Yes.
With Mel Gibson.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They beat the English quite often by booby trapping the battlefield prior to.
Right.
That might have been more fun than orders. If at the beginning of if part of your army, you have to pick 3 traps. And
you trap an objective or something.
Right, literally just at the beginning you have to write down which objective, and then later you can be that's the one I trapped. It explodes. Everyone within 3 inches takes D3 mortals, and it's removed from the table.
Right, yeah.
Or okay, you don't even necessarily have to write down which one, but when you ran through my oil trap and you are half moved. That would have been cool.
Okay. It's an interesting idea, yeah.
That would be really, because again, now you're talking about desperation and you're getting inventive and you're digging deep. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Regardless. Strike without warning. You complete this battle tactic if you slap your opponent and he doesn't know it's coming.
Yeah.
First edition? Maybe.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You complete this battle tactic if 3 or more friendly cities of Sigmar elf units made a charge this turn.
Did you build an elf army?
Right. Here you go. Iron Might. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if 3 or more friendly cities of Sigmar Duarden units fought this turn and no friendly city of Sigmar Duarden units were destroyed this turn.
Mouthful. At the end it reads, did you build a dwarf army and do well?
Did you build a dwarf army? Did you go first and use this first?
Yeah. Well, no, you got to use on turn 2 because your legs weren't long enough to get there turn 1.
Well, again,
so
it just says 3 or more.
You got to fight
and
not be destroyed. Yeah.
Crow Italian, who cares? Okay, so my voice is already starting to go a little bit, so I'm not reading all these damn things.
I understand.
You've already watched 100 videos about this. You just want to hear my take. So, on to Lion Lady.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I think it's interesting.
Cool model, that's for damn certain.
Oh, yeah. She's not... How she's not on a 3-up?
Yeah, that's a shame.
I don't know.
She got a 6-up ward instead of that 3-up. You know,
so weird. The weird world where 2 years ago we were like, holy shit, it's got a 4-up. thing's never going to leave the table. Now we're like, it's a shame it has no save. Like,
Right. Yeah. 4 up just equals you don't have a save now. Yeah.
I still don't like the monstrous rampage, the paralyzing venom.
Oh, yes.
I think that's a little bit of a waste. Yeah.
Because let's be honest, you're probably roaring.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing as our border guy, or our fast pig, our battle line pig.
True.
But yeah, I think if you want to take her, you can. I don't think you will necessarily take her if you want to win.
Yeah,
but I think if you want to win and you're really good, I don't think this will prevent you from doing so.
Here's hoping, yeah.
Whoop. I pushed buttons. Now it's all messed up.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Professional production here, everybody.
It's all messed up. Hold on. Here's what I'll do.
Goodness.
I'll I'll make it so you guys don't have to watch me.
Watch him fumble here.
Scroll here for 5 minutes to get back to where we were. All right.
Oh, boy.
So...
Yeah, no. Okay. The big thing for her is if you like the tactics and they become a big thing, her being able to give 2 to a hero instead of 1,
yes,
could be very interesting.
Okay, here we go.
Good.
All right, that wasn't too bad. All right, so then this is the page where we have the unit or the hero that everyone's going to take, Pontifex Zenestra. It's weird. I don't think she's too good.
Mm-hmm.
I just think everything the army needs, they put in one unit.
Yes, they put in one basket that you better protect because it dies now. And anyway, yeah.
Well, so, again, 9 wounds.
Yes, so we can at least protect ourselves from the shooting.
Right. So we have that at least going on.
Right.
Flagellants. I don't know how Flagellants made the book, but warrior priests and witch hunters didn't.
Yeah, really. We should have seen a few witch hunters in this book. I think that would have been great.
I think it is an absolute crime that we didn't get a little, like, build your own warrior priest or witch hunter. I know we have a couple of the named ones. Well, we have a couple named witch hunters. We have no warrior priests. So now,
those are gone. Yep.
So previously, whenever Sigmar was a thought, we had enough righteous zeal that we could pray and have things happen. Now that we can go and ask him personally,
right now that you can call him up and say, "Yo, dog,"
no longer good enough. That's
no, we don't worship you now. We don't have priests for you now.
Free guild marshal on big old Squawky Bird.
Yeah,
it's good. Here's kind of the problem that we're going to run into for a lot of these war scrolls. It's fine.
Yes,
it's fine. Free guild marshal. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what his big.
The big long relic envoy here.
You can carry out a heroic action. Well, so that's nice. But here's the thing: is like, of course, he has the delivering rousing speech, big friendly,
right.
3 friendly units, human units, humans. He can't talk to dwarves. All right.
No, he doesn't speak Dwarvish. He doesn't speak Elvish. He speaks Ooman.
It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. I can't. Like,
tell me how you really feel.
So okay. So then we put two really good heroes on one page. The Free Guild Cavalier Marshal's really good. If you're focusing on the horses.
Right. Do you want to play some horsies?
If you want to play horsies, this guy does a good job of making them better.
Right.
Alchemite Warforger. We're gonna have He's on the next battle scroll. He's going up 20 points.
You really think he's going to go up that much?
He's going to go up
Jeez.
20 points. He is so good.
Let me have a look here. He's a wizard, can cast one. That's the start of the hero phase.
I believe right now, he is 80 points. He might be
Okay,
90.
I'll keep in mind as I read this. Sub 100. At the start of your hero phase, you can say this unit will either stoke or expend the power of a runic crucible. If this unit stokes the power of the runic crucible, add 1 to casting for this unit until the end of the phase. If it expends the runic crucible, it cannot cast any spells this phase, but until the start of your next hero phase, add 1 to save rolls for all friendly cities of Sigmar human units while they're wholly within 12. Ooh. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, a 12-inch bubble of +1 save that you can still all out
add another,
and do Mystic Shield.
And if it's a hero, you could also best day ever.
Right.
Interesting.
So now, forget those Rend 4 attacks.
Right.
And then, so what's funny is like, that's so good. Because if you look, you don't roll anything for that.
Right, yeah.
It's not a spell. It can't be unbound. It can't be stopped. Also, even though it says expend, he's got like 5 of those things around him. So he can do it next turn, and the turn after that, and the turn after that.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. So you can literally do that every turn. So you might want to bring 2. Because you may also want to blaze your weapons.
Right. The blazing weapon for everyone who's also in that bubble saying, hey, now on 6s you do immortal. Seems okay.
Right. So,
Interesting. Yeah.
The Battle Mage is...
I'm sad that they got rid of the idea that it was based off of the place they were from.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you went through all this little stupid stuff, I'm pointing to it here on the screen. I know you can't see that.
Right.
But, like, why not literally give him 1 spell from each of the realms? Because there's 5 variants of him.
Right.
Give him 5 spells. You can't do that. You can't fit that on there. Because right now, he doesn't have a War Scroll spell.
Yeah. Yep.
So, pass on the Battle Mage.
Fair enough. Same thing with on Griffin? Or no?
I think it's too many points. I think it's too many points for not enough. You're
not enough wizard power here.
Yeah. He's
being only a 1 cast is still tough.
He's Starbucks hassle for McDonald's coffee.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Now I forget which one. I know the Celestial Hurricanum has some oomph to it.
Okay.
I forget if it's with or without. I guess it'll boil down.
So I believe both ways give the +1 to hit rolls for everyone, for all humans, wholly within 9.
Of course.
Right.
Because, again, Stephen Elfman met Sigmar the other day, just wasn't impressed.
But the Celestial Hurricanum doesn't impress him enough, so he's not going to hit better. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think the Battle Mage variant could be good depending on price. Like if it's like an extra 40 points, 50 points.
Yeah, I have to have a look at it here at the end and see where it is.
Just because that's not a bad little.
No.
Spell.
No.
So Celestial Arcanum, cool. It's fine, depending on points.
Yeah.
Now we have the Luminarch. I think the Luminarch is a little less.
Let's see. Searing Beam. Pick 1 point of the battlefield in a range of shooting model visible. Draw a line between the points. Roll dice for each unit on a 2-up D3 mortal. So you're just picking a spot and with your 30-inch range, something within 30 inches, and raking a line.
Okay, never mind. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm on board for it. Let's see what's your spell.
The only problem is it's each unit, not enemy, so it'll be interesting.
That's fine. I mean, as long as as long as I can get their wizard that's 30 inches away and do 2
Okay.
mortals to it, you know.
Right. Yeah. And zap him down.
If I zap some things along the way, I'm not in a bad mood. That's
Yeah.
and then it also gives a 6-up ward. Personally, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever I see 6, that means maybe next game you'll get a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save one. Let's see what the spell is. Burning Gaze on 6-up, 18, cast friendly enemy. Pick one enemy unit. D3
D3 mortal. Double it if it has 10 or more. Okay.
That's not bad. Again, like I said, I would say
I'll triple it on a 20 or more unit. That's kind of good. If you're hoping somebody's running, a 20-man block.
3D3. I'm not bad. I'm not upset at 3D3.
Yeah.
Because again, even there, it's at least 3.
Yeah. At minimum, you, Matt, will roll 3.
I would say because again, I don't know points. I don't remember all the points offhand.
Right.
Yet. I would say the Luminarch. Let's say 280 for the Luminarch.
Arcanum.
260 for the Huracanum.
Really? I feel like it should be the other way around. The Huracanum should be more.
They like putting damage higher points.
Okay. We'll have a look. Here.
So we'll see. And then I don't even know what the Battle Mage is. Another 50 points, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's not full cost additional for the Battle Mage.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Free Guild Command Corps, pointless. It's pointless. I guarantee you, this was supposed to be a Curse City expansion.
Curse Cities thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Free Guild Steel Helms.
2 attacks, 4s, baby. Here we go.
4-up save, baby.
And we're just outpacing our dwarf counterparts. 5-inch movement.
My shield may be of wicker, but my spine is made of steel. With my 5 bravery.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Oh, here we go. What were we talking about earlier? There's a battle priest in the unit.
Oh, I hate you, Cole. I hate you so much. I don't know. See, here's the thing is, I don't think you remember, or you might not have been part of that episode, when we revealed the battle priest. Did you... So do you remember the picture? The picture of the full unit?
Shoot. Now I don't. Let me look it up here.
Remember there's like one drunk guy with an apron holding a thing and just yelling?
Yes.
That's the battle priest.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Is the drunk guy our battle priest?
Yes.
I take back everything I said about the lore thing for the orders. If our priest is a drunk, we aren't taking orders from nobody. We're all hammered out there trying to kill somebody. Apparently, they based it off of America. So,
as a side note, how cool would it have been if they would have come out with like 3 or 4 variants to the Steel Helm box? So like this is like the high, like the hammer hall, but then they have like, say like you got one with like kilts and like,
oh, that could be cool.
You know, like you have like different ones just to show like, hey, it's not, you know, each realm is a little different or very different. Okay, so this, we're gonna do a little bit of spoiler jump ahead stuff. So like this Free Guild Steel Helm unit sucks ass. Just the worst. It is truly awful. And so on top of it being truly awful, with all the buffs you can give it, it makes it truly awful and horrible the other way. Because the unit just won't fucking leave. It doesn't kill you. It never gets to the point where it'll kill you. It's just there. And it's just in the way, just reminding you that once upon a time this game was fun. Like...
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, though, there is there's like a sliver. Like, remember me talking about, they're trying to like do everything they can. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel. They literally have an ability called Hold the Line. Each time this unit receives the all-out attack or all-out defense command, you can pick one other friendly unit within this, with this ability that is wholly within 12 inches, that has not received any commands this phase, that also receives it. That's what I'm talking. Like this sort of like,
right.
We all got to push, like,
right.
So that sort of thing I really like, but like, and I don't know what to do with them, like. I don't know. Like, the War Scroll is accurate.
Yes, is the sad part. Is it is probably lore accurate, but...
And I think the 4-up is gracious of them. Now, here's the problem, though, is once they die and turn and stand back up, as zombies, they're much better.
It's terrible. Terrible.
So again, I don't know what you do with it. Like,
right.
I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. Again, that gets solved whenever you have the human, dwarf, and elf commanders that can give you a little bit of like take your foundation and move it up a little bit, like,
push it just a touch.
Free Guild Cavaliers, they're not bad. I mean, I think I would like them better at 3 wounds.
Okay.
That might be a little much.
I need to pull up and have a look at the Chaos equivalent here.
Just the regular knights.
Yeah. That would inform me a lot better than just sitting here trying to talk about it. So give me un momento, and I will give you...
I'll go over while you're bringing that up. So, let's see here. Each model in a Free Guild Cavaliers unit is armed with a Cavalier weapon. Very creative. And then the mounts have their steel sawed hooves. Which means, since we have an extra thing in there, the Arc Knight's Blade, that would leave me to believe that the champion... Arc Knight Blade. Which, of course, means you're rolling a bunch of dice for everybody, and then the captain.
Right.
Banners seem to be kind of standard across the board, a +1 bravery. What do you think about banners being +1 bravery?
I feel like if we're going to keep making banners +1 bravery, you almost go, why don't we just give the unit +1 bravery for what it has? Because this is going to be the second to last model taken out of the unit if you're doing it right.
Yes, I agree. I'm at the point where I kind of want to see standards actually start doing something a little different.
I think that's the problem, is they used to.
Right.
And now they don't.
And even if they just want to be like, this army's standards do this.
Right.
Like for this, I could see, the standard bear re-rolling failed battle shock. Okay, that's fine. Like, to me, that seems a little bit more impactful than just, okay, it's innate bravery.
Right.
Until, like, you get done with the game and go, shit, I forgot to get the +1 on them.
Right, yeah. I can see that.
So you have Devastating Charge. If this unit made a charge move in the same turn, add 1 to damage characteristic of its Cavalier weapons and improve the Ren characteristic by 1. So pretty much our more recent standard Cavalier rules. Again, I like them. Their points are a little high, but again, they can take a lot of the same buffs the Steel Helms can. So,
so I took the time to look all this up. Yes. So, Chaos Knights, which are 220 points, our Free Guild Cavaliers are currently at 180. So, as we look here, we have the exact same move, save, and bravery. Wounds of 3, though, for a Chaos Knight.
Who said that?
Our Cavalier weapon And our cursed lance are pretty much the same, including the devastating charge. The only difference is the cursed lance of a Chaos Knight hits on 4s instead of 3s.
So it looks like we're actually ahead of the curve.
A tick in the right direction.
Okay.
The other option would be our in-scroll weapons, which obviously that means we have weapon options that sadly this unit doesn't have. It's just going to have the Arch Knight's Blade in there. But those could be 3 attacks, 4s, 3s, -1 for 2 damage instead. So interesting. Curse Flail, which no one ever takes. So,
so yeah. So
the hooves are exactly the same. So what? This is a 40-point difference. You're getting 5 more wounds. You're also getting a 5-up Mortal Shrug.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah, so that's a pretty impressive piece right there. Yeah. So it's close. It's close. These guys definitely hit more consistently.
Yeah.
The free yield.
All right. So here is the major issue with this book. Fusiliers. So essentially these guys can be battle line, so you're going to take those battle line and you're going to take probably 2 units and double reinforce them.
Oh. Let's see it. Why is that?
So you have your Fusilier cannon, fortified position. I mean, you're not moving. So you have 24-inch range. Wow.
Cool.
Which, again, I'd like to point out, these dumb, strapped-together human guns are better than the dwarf-forged Grommel cannons.
Yeah, exactly. Wondering where the dwarf that is,
Right.
Yep.
So, again, so there are 2 attacks, 4s and 4s again, so still blah on that. But, rend 1, damage 1, this is where your Huracanum's going to come into play. So you can get that to hit down to a 3-up across the board for both units. And then on top of that, they have... I forget if they have... Where is it? Each time a model shoots with a fusel cannon, if the unit is in a fortified position, use the fortified... Okay, so that's basically standard. If they move, they use one. If not, use fortified position. At the start of the battle, this unit is in a fortified position. In addition, at the end of the movement, if this unit...
it's telling you what a fortified position is, which is, did you move? Then you're not in a fortified position.
Right. And so basically, you use the other guy who's underpointed, to make this unit do mortal wounds on the 6.
Okay.
So now you have a 24-inch,
20 shots on the basic dude. Yeah, but
so you're doing 60 shots. So you're doing 10 mortals.
Okay.
Like I said, it's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big problem, and it's going to be a pain in the ass.
The resupply run is an interesting little piece here saying, hey, are these guys still here in Battle Round 3? Cool. Now, reroll hits for a turn.
Right. So if you remember, or not remember, but if you read closely, it does not say fails.
So if you are in that session for 6s,
you can take all of the 6 that are all, take out the 10, re-roll 50 dice, get another 10 or 9.
Right. Yeah.
It's not going to be a good place.
Right.
And then I forget what the major does. Fusil Major on Ogre Warhulk, which, by the way, whenever we first saw this, I thought that meant we were going to see some more Ogre stuff.
Me too. I really did think we were going to get like a unit of ogres here.
Right. But since we didn't get that, let's see. So, at the start of your shooting phase, you can pick one friendly Castlite, which can be the Fusiliers, wholly within 12 inches of this unit, and roll a die. Until the end of the phase, the range characteristic of that unit's missile weapons is increased by the number of inches equal to the die roll.
Not huge, but if you had the move for the turn, it might turn into something.
And again, that potential of a 30-inch
Right. Yes.
Because we didn't learn our lesson after Sentinels.
Right.
Fortified position looks like it's basically the same thing. So
Yeah, same as above.
yeah. And then we have our Iron Weld Cannon. Who gives a shit? Just get rid of it.
Yeah, I know you were not interested in this guy at all.
I'm very interested in it. I want to bring it.
Right.
But here's the thing: is this needs to do the same this needs to do the same or more damage than a unit of Fusiliers.
Right.
In order for it to be considerable.
Mm-hmm.
This little poo-poo bullshit of 2 attacks at 4s and 2s, that doesn't, no, I'm going to roll 2 2s, and then I wasted my 150, 160 points.
Right.
Again, we need to get to the point where we remember, hey, this isn't fantasy anymore. One cannon is not...
is not the murder weapon you think it is. Right. Yeah.
We need to start taking these and again, this is gigantic. So if there was 2 of them, that would be sufficient. But
right.
Just say the Stormcast one or the Lumineth one. If you put that in 2 or 3, now all of a sudden you have a unit. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm high save, high wounds. It's not going anywhere, and it's
at least on our 4 up to hit weapon, we now get 2 rolls of the dice at it.
Steam tanks are fine.
Yeah, they're still here.
2 up save.
They're cool.
They're better than Sigmarite, so
yeah.
How about? I think what we need to do is we need to go find Joe Blacksmith and go, hey, can you make
make a bunch more of those.
You make 10,000 of that, but
we're just
person sized, real big person sized.
Yeah, weird how that works. And then suddenly the dwarves became Space Marines, and that's how squats were born, ladies and gentlemen.
So we had the Wilder Corps Hunters.
Yeah, I actually have not looked at this war scroll even a little bit, so.
I want to like it more than I do.
Okay.
The one nice thing is they have to be within 12 inches to shoot at them. The enemy has to be within 12 inches to shoot at them.
I see. Okay, so helps. And they get to make a move at the start, so you just get an extra 5 inches at the start, which could be something, but
you can grab that objective in the middle that you're just outside of,
right?
Or at least get you closer to it.
Then you get to shoot on turn 1 with them afterwards. Which, what is it? 2 attacks, 4s -1 for 1. Nothing to write home about.
So I'll just say, because I want to like them, I say you could probably squeeze them in. If you have the points, you wouldn't be necessarily dooming yourself.
Yeah, I'd have to look and see what the points are to say either way, but yeah.
So then we have the warband of the Witch Hunters.
Okay.
Hassel Hexbane and his hunters. Again, man, this is what drives me up a wall with all this, because it's one thing that I hate more than anything is here's a unit, and the unit has 14 different profiles.
Right, yeah.
And so, because again, the war bands are sculpted to be different, so each guy brings something unique. They then feel the need to wedge that in, and it's just why can't you just make each individual guy a 40-point hero?
That's the problem, because then they're a good unit every once in a while, and the opponent's I'm sorry if this is a good unit and I have to do this, but now we're going to roll 1 dice over and over for each individual dude, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, again, I don't know. Then we got the father-daughter duo, the bring your daughter to work.
The Vendensts,
So they used to be good.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, so here's the thing. You're going to look at this war scroll, And you're going to go, well, what's the matter? It's basically what they used to be. That is true. However, something has changed. You have to take both, and you have to pay for both now.
Ah, okay.
So now,
got a lot more expensive all of a sudden.
Yep. So go ahead and just dust off a little 28 millimeter space on your shelf, and just put them back up. Like I said, true shame. True shame.
Yep.
So on to the dwarf stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's okay. You can let it out. Everyone here knows your dwarf love.
It's like they wrote the war scrolls for some of this stuff completely isolated from everything else. Like the Warden King is just a shell. Just a shell of his former self. Like, he used to give +1 attack.
Yeah.
And then also had an aura that also gave a really good buff. They're like, well, let's not do that anymore. We got to stop that.
That sounds way too good.
Cut that off. We don't want people buying this shit old thing. And then the Rune Lord, so he had 2 prayers. So he lost. So he had 2 prayers, lost 1 prayer.
Right.
He had +2 to dispel. He lost that as well.
Yep.
And on top of that, his armor went from a 3 to a 4. Or I think he might have already been a 4.
I think it was already 4. Yeah, because he doesn't have a shield.
Longbeards lost their grumbles.
Yeah. I mean, they're always just saying, "I thought we were made of sterner stuff."
Right.
Yeah.
At that point, man, just I don't know. Make them. I don't know. Like, I loved the fact that they grumbled so much and were so in their own convictions that they could literally will away endless spells.
Right. Just now, we don't care about none of this magic crap. Yeah.
Hammerers, not too bad.
I mean, yeah, they're pretty much the same as they were. For some reason, I feel like they had a mortal wound, or was that the great sword?
So previously they did a mortal wound on a 6, but they were 1 damage.
Okay.
So now they're 2 damage. So not terrible. Like it's that toxic relationship where they improve just enough that you're like, well.
Yeah.
But it is a trap. It is a trap.
Right. Yes, it is.
Like, they either need to be a 3-up save or a 2 wound.
Okay.
A 1 wound and a 4-up. Like, even if you bring 30 of these guys, they're gone turn 1.
Right.
Iron Drakes, not too much of a change with them either.
Yeah, they're in a weird, like, could still be good, at least in my mind, because there's still 3s and 3s, whereas our other shooting unit is 4s and 4s.
Right, but they can't. There's no buff that they can take to get them to the same point.
Right.
So the best you can do is don't move. Which the problem with the don't move is it's now a 15-inch
instead of 24. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's such
hard.
A shame.
It's
like,
hard.
+1 attack, like, so 2 attacks are still like, and then of course you have you still have the one to increase the Ren, so you are looking at a Ren 2 on this, but at that point I'd rather give it to my hammers and go Ren 3.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because 15 inches just isn't enough anymore. Iron Breakers, I actually still like Iron Breakers.
Do you?
So, they are 3-up save base. The Grommel Shield gives them a 5-up ward.
Okay.
And there's a form shield wall order that you can do to give them a 4-up instead. So you can get these guys pretty reliably to a 2-up, 4-up.
Right, which, okay. It's a hard unit to move there.
Right. Now, again, they are 2 attacks, 3s, 4s, no rend, 1 damage, but that's not what they're there for. I still say, at the end of the day, and, just because this is not how they were previously done, so we can never do it this way, if they each had a Drakefire pistol and had this little, obviously you can...
And down it to, even one shot each, yeah.
Right, yeah. If you did a 9-inch, 1 shot, 3s, 4s, no rend, 1 damage, you have a unit with a little bit of damage protection.
Right.
And you also have a unit that can just shoot in the ranged phase or shooting phase, and then also still attack as well.
Unleash hell or something, yeah.
So, it would not break the bank. Cogsmith, I'm not even going to look at it. It's a waste of time. They can just stop producing it at this point.
Yep.
Gyrocopters.
Let's see. Steam gun. Wasn't the steam gun every model within range, and now it's just 2d6? That's sad.
Yep, so that's pointless. The gyro bomber. The thing is 12-inch move. You can't clear shit anymore.
Right.
So it's too hard to use. And then the dark elf stuff. It's actually not bad. If you want to do a dark elf army, you can do a dark elf army.
Okay. Good.
And it's basically not everything. So sorceress on Black Dragon's not bad. Sorceress is what you'd expect. And then there's one. So Blackguard.
Yeah.
Unit that is within 3 inches of a sorceress, 4-up ward. A 4-up ward. So they are more defensive than dwarves. Very frustrating.
You aren't an elf, so I don't know what you were expecting.
I don't know. So the bleak swords and executioners are not displaying properly on my screen here. So
okay.
There's one of them. So the bleak swords, again, they're looking at scoring 2 hits on a 6.
Right.
They're meh. They're lackluster. Yep. I think it's the executioners. I mean,
it does 2 mortal wounds and the attacks
on a 6. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And they're 2 attacks, 3s, 3s, 1 rend, 2 damage.
The only problem is they got that giant sword to 1-inch reach.
Right. But they're only on a 1-inch base, so.
Oh, true. Okay, so you can get 2 ranks.
Yeah. Let's see. Where else we got?
Dark shards. Add 1 to hit rolls. Well, it has 10 or more models. Well, it hasn't been touched. Add 1 to hit. So 3s and 4.
4 and a 4. I don't care.
Yeah, not really doing much there. No rend.
Dread spears. Add 1 to hit rolls. If they charged, that's not bad for if this is a 100-point unit. Okay.
Yeah, might be all right.
I can't remember what the Dreadlord is. I'm not doing that at this point.
I hear you.
War Hydra has been pretty greatly nerfed. There's no reason to take that. It just looks like my page got selected.
Oh. Can't click off into any of the gray on the sides and get it to go.
All it does is get rid of it.
Huh.
I clearly did something wrong. So, I think there's something that's supposed to.
What are we looking at?
I think there's something that deals something with ward saves. I think someone's telling me that there's a unit that's perfect to take out Gotrek.
Oh.
I'm blanking on which one that is.
Okay. So look. Let's see. It's not Drakespawn Knights. You're adding 1 of the damage characteristic of Barb Lances and the rend if you charged. Chariot. After it makes a charge move, pick one enemy within. Roll 2 dice for each model in the unit. No. Dark Riders. What do you got, guys? Roll dice each time an enemy unit issues a command within 12 any friendly units with this ability. On a 5-up, command was not received, but still counts as being used. That's interesting, at least.
Right. Yeah. Once again, still the elves get more attention than the dwarves. There's still a lot of dark elves left. Like
there are, yeah. I'm
could
surprised.
Do a full dark elf army with this.
Yeah. Huh. What we got here? Fleet Master. We got Swashbuckle. Unmodified hit roll of attack made with a melee weapon targets this unit is 1. Attacking unit suffers 2 mortal wounds. Nice. Okay. When this unit issues an odd attack for Scourge Privateers, add 1 of the attack's characters to that unit's weapons.
That's not bad at all.
No. I kind of like that. If you're kind of lucky and you realize he's about to die, you just chuck him into the biggest blob that you can to get him in his combat with as many people as possible, because he'll kill more people that way. The unmodified hit roll for an attack made with melee targets this unit. The attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound after all of its attacks are resolved. Scourge Runners now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that gets rid of ward here. The only thing I could see was the orc we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, not worried about it. So, what do you rate this book?
Well, it depends. Are you okay with the idea that this is now basically a human's book? And I mean, that's what it's going to turn into, and probably devolve into just being that whenever we eventually get the Dark Elf book to be its own thing, which I feel like will happen at some point. Might not be soon, but 5 years from now, we look back and say that's it.
I feel like whenever we eventually get the Umberneth, I feel like this is going to be phased out. Whether I think some units might go over, I don't think the whole line is going to go over. I think a lot of stuff's going to get retired,
right?
Kind of like they did with Daughters. I would be shocked if we got a the Dark Elves of Harkonnen book,
right?
But yeah, good. Let's go. We've been doing letter scores, letter grades. So, what letter grade do you give this?
If you're okay with this being a human-only book, I would say I would give this a B. If you're not okay with that, I can see where you get a C out of this pretty quickly.
Well, so going with the Big M scale.
Yes.
Keeping the Big M curriculum in mind. This book pretty easily, in my mind, gets a D-.
Okay. Why is that?
Because it literally fails every category.
Okay.
For me. Does it fit the lore? No. Did you take time and write these rules? No. Like, it's literally like they came up. It really feels like each unit was made by one person, and they all just kind of understand how an empire/city's army works.
Right.
And all of the hard combos, they had no clue it was going to happen. Like, it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't intentional. It was just, that's good.
Oh, hey, look at that. It worked. Yeah.
Right. Oh, shit. That looks powerful. Like,
yeah.
It's It feels like a bunch of power combos that if it was any book that I've played in the past and was interested in, it quickly would normally get nerfed. But here in this book, it's just going to stay that way, and I feel like it's just going to be a pain in the ass book to play against.
It'll be interesting. That is for darn certain to play against this book. And especially, it'll be one of those things that at the start, you'll be like, hey, what's the one order that you do on my turn? Can I have a look at that? Just because that's the only one that will stay down, just so I can know real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, countercharge. All right, thank you.
I think this army is going to be, it's going to be, you're going to see it a lot at bottom tables, round 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get your first win off of it. But if you go into round 4 and they are 3-1, you're going back down.
Right. Yes.
This is going to be a hard stop 4-1 army that is going to gatekeep other people from getting 4-1.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like the space it takes up. I don't like how it plays. I don't like how they wrote the rules. I don't like how they segregated everything. And then whenever they did segregate everything, I don't like how they did not give equal treatment to the 3 branches.
Okay. Yeah.
To me, this fails every category, and the only reason why it's not an F is because I think it will be a 4-1 army.
Gotcha.
I do think it is the worst book that we've gotten to date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty scathing review. Yeah.
The worst battle tome. And again, see, this is why you come to Big M's Power Hour, because everyone else is like, oh, it's going to be a good book. It's going to be fun. Blah, 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 blah.
Matt will tell you how he feels.
Because again, like I said, I have no problem losing. But whenever I lose to a bunch of cheap-ass bullshit, and, oh, this only works because they forgot to put the comma on that side of the paragraph or the parentheses instead of the other side of the parentheses, because whether they intended it or not, like, that's where I get annoyed, wherever it's just shut down, dumb shit, no other army gets this level of synergy. Again, if you're bolstering steel helms to the point where they are doing something, okay, now that's fine, because I can take that one piece out to get that cog to start falling apart.
Okay, yeah.
But we're not doing that. We're going to put 60 steel helms in front of the 60 fuselages that are going to be shooting 30 inches away and doing, 20 mortal wounds at between a 24 and 30 inch range.
Yep.
And there's going to be nothing you can do about it. Because they're going to have so much shit, you're not going to be able to teleport anywhere close to them, because they're basically going to be the whole back of the board.
Right.
And again, I think if you took out the Fusiliers, or took out the bonuses that they could get, or even moved the 6 to mortal wound over to the to wound instead of to hit.
Yeah.
Like we talked about with zombies. Now we have something. Because, like, steel helms, not broke. Boring, and you can't really give them all the buffs that they need to get to where they need to be. Cavaliers, they don't necessarily need that many buffs, but the problem is they're also eligible for those buffs. So they can get a little wonky, too. But you can only take them in limited numbers, and of course their reach prevents you from really tripling down on them.
Right.
So you have a little bit of self-balance there. But again, it's all just this oversight that, like, if you sat them down, I guarantee if you went to the rules writing team and point, why did you let it go like this? They would just be like, oh, I didn't see that.
Right.
That's going to be the response as to why you made this too strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's a whole episode to what makes a good battle tome. And I think we kind of touched on that whenever previously we did our tier list of
the battle tomes
the
themselves.
battle
Yeah.
tomes,
Yep.
not looking at it from a competitive lens, but looking at
Right.
a collective lens.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's because again, if you only rate books on their capacity to win, you get this power creep where you go from a 4-up save being awesome to a 4-up save being nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And that's something you don't want.
Yeah. That's fair.
It should be easier to be impressed by stats than
Harder. Yeah.
right. It's like, okay, well, what happens when I roll a 6 to hit? Nothing. Then why do I want to? Why would I?
Why am I running this unit?
Just
Yeah.
get rid of it. What's its ward save? It's a 3, right? No, it doesn't have a ward. Then get rid of it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, and then on top of that, like, this is also a little bit of this is an unfair poke.
Yeah.
I'm aware, but since they are so, the lore is their a heavy concern for them.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they need Stormcast?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
these guys could destroy Stormcast right now.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah. No, it really will.
I mean, the amount of mortal wounds that they put out.
Right. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of them.
Yeah. Which again, like, completely off topic, but only tangentially related here. I do hope in 4th edition, I think giving Stormcast a straight ward is an issue, is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you were to give them a mortal wound save,
it's like a 6-up or a 5-up.
No.
Yeah.
So if it's just mortal wound only, I would have no problem with it being a hard 4.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
but only against the mortals.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not a ward. So if they're like a 2-up, 4-up with a mortal wound only save,
right.
Now all of a sudden, okay, here's your Rend 3. Okay, I'm looking for 5s.
It helps them out since they're an elite army quite a bit. Yeah.
Then at that point, okay, don't even worry about their damage. Maybe boost them just a tiny bit.
Right.
Like, just increase their Rend so their 1 damage attack still go through,
Yeah.
And then that way you also look at the cities and go, okay, they're just elite step up, it's
right. Yeah.
But as of right now, though, I do think, speaking of Stormcast, because Stormcast can still, I can't think of the word right now. The C word for allies. Coalition.
Yeah.
Since they can still coalesce?
Yeah.
Sure. We're 3 hours in.
Coalesce. Sure. We can start making words up.
Since Stormcast can still coalesce with cities, they're probably the best winners right now. I mean, bring in a giant unit of Fusiliers, the shooty guys.
Yes.
Bring in the 2 units that buff them to hell and back. Throw a couple dragons in.
I mean, shoot, while we were sitting here talking, I went and looked at the command traits.
Yeah.
You can make it so that whenever you give a unit of Fusiliers all-out attack, aka +1 to hit, it also affects their to wound roll.
Wow. See,
yep, so they'll be 3s and 3s.
Steel helms, not.
Nope, it's only the things in fortified positions.
Right. So dumb. Like, yeah, man, that's...
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like... So, just to change it slightly, just to pivot it, like 15 degrees, what if that was anytime this unit gives the all-out attack command to a unit that has lost half of its models, it also receives +1 to wound.
Right, just because they're desperate now because a bunch of their friends have died.
So then we go back to that's the lore. These guys are just trying to push, and if there was some way that, like, instead of having this, oh, we know how to pivot on a dime or some shit. I don't understand. Like, that's the other thing. Is, like, I don't understand what the orders represent because we already have commands.
Yes, it's very strange. I can give you that. Yeah. Why not just make this like goblins used to be, where it's an army that just generates a bunch of command points and give us more things to spend them on? Yeah.
It would be, to me, it would be better to see, like, something happen, like something happens innately in the army when they start losing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you start losing a hero, so now you lost your command points and you don't do as much. Yeah.
Right, almost like... like I said, the issue is you very quickly get to blood tithe at that point. But, like, if you had, like... Yeah, man, I don't know. Well, it would be very interesting. It would be very interesting in this army to see, instead of orders, like a blood tithe chart, where you get, like, the rolling buffs, and then the summoning thing is Stormcast units.
Oh, that could be very fun. Yeah. That the battle's gotten so desperate, Sigmar's like, ooh, don't worry, I got you.
Especially, like, that would be... Oh, that would be... It's too late now. Like, the direction they've gone, it doesn't work.
Right, we're not there anymore.
If Cities was, again, the mix of the three races, and they get the original warrior chamber. Stormcast, rolled in. And then the warrior chamber gets taken out of the Stormcast book.
Boy. That was reaching too far for them to do that, but it's a cool idea.
I mean, again, you have a freaking book with 200 war scrolls in it. I mean, you need some help.
Fair enough.
I don't necessarily know if you take, a third of those and put them in the other book that has 200 war scrolls. But again, if you just ripped the Band-Aid and went, this is the new army, here you have your 10 war scrolls, 12 war scrolls.
Right.
It conveys that everyone's working together now, as opposed to being more segregated than ever.
True.
Oh
man.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to draw some sort of offensive comic about not letting elves drink from water fountains or something, but no, your elven waterfalls are down there, and it's like some sort of like triple tiered thing.
Jeez.
All right, so yeah, man, there we have it. Oh, and you know what? Since we haven't done, we'll do a real quick Seraphon.
Sure.
Because that's where we're going next. With our journey. So we'll do a check-in real quick to the journey as well. So we played Tzeentch.
Yeah, we did.
I did not play them correctly. There was a lot of rules that I messed up. And I think Tzeentch is incredibly fun.
I was going to say, we weren't doing things right, but dang, were you really enjoying the crap out of it? Yeah.
It's a really neat army, and it works a lot better than I thought it would. So I definitely think if, down the road where, just Chaos Dwarves are nowhere in the picture, and I'm looking to get, because right now I have my Death Army, I have a Destruction Army, Destruction Armies, Order Armies. Yeah. So Chaos is the only thing I'm missing.
Tzeentch would not be a bad little
Tzeentch would be
plug
an
into
amazingly fun side army that, like, you and me want to get together. I'm gonna dick around, throw some
Tzeentch. And I'm gonna throw spells, and we'll see if I kill you before you get to the spellcaster.
As I said, it was an incredible amount of fun. I just don't think I have the mental acumen to do them justice. Okay. I need something a little dumber.
Well, we will see now that we're going to move on to Seraphon, see if that comes down at all. So still lots of spells that you enjoyed, though, so that's cool.
So looking through Seraphon, Just like in their last edition book, I think they did a great job of capturing what the armory is supposed to feel like. With the exception on the Coalesce side, the big stompy dinosaurs are either overcosted or are not big stompy enough.
Yeah.
My first list that I made had like 3. Like I had the 2 variations of the big dinosaur, and then I also had the troglodyte on there because I had some rules that required a skink priest. And so I had that set up to do that, but by that point I was already over 1,000 points. And I also had to have a Slon and an Astrolith bearer in there. So now that put me at like 1,400 points. Like and it's like I had a hard time putting even battle line in. So they are so overcosted and they do less damage. Like they're an okay utility piece. They're actually a pretty good utility piece. The one, I think it's the Scar Veteran on Carnosaur, can issue the same command to 2 units.
Cool.
So I really like that. Or
I
forget exactly what it was, but I just don't think it's the right path. I think unfortunately, if you're going to go the Coalesce side, it's Agrodons and with a splash of Croxagors, because which is also a shame because the Croxagors rely so heavily on skinks that it's annoying. It's just annoying. Like so they cost more than a unit of Hearthguards.
Wow.
And 1 Croxagor is just a tiny bit more than 1 Hearthguard Berserker. So if instead they would just go, hey, this is an elite unit, and a skink sergeant can issue a command to a Croxagor unit once per turn for free. Well, now we're talking. Now
that'd be a cool idea.
That's a much better idea.
We kept the idea in there, and
Or anytime a skink unit issues itself a command, if a Croxagor is in range, it also gets
as well.
That's the route to take it. But this, like, what me big alligator? What little lizard guy say? Like,
you're right.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm so disappointed that the I forget what they're called, the warped Croxagors are just worthless. There's just no point in taking them. They're so much cooler looking, and they're just so much worse. And then, like I said, I need to play the Starborn side to really judge it. It seems very oppressive. But I think that's kind of it. It's like, if you can get to the Slon, you win. So my goal is to have my Slon do 90% of the damage to the army as you try and get through all of the garbage
to get to the Slon.
So this book still, as of right now, is getting an A from me.
Good.
Maybe an A- just because of how they did the dinosaurs dirty, which yeah, we're gonna go A- just for how bad they did the dinosaurs and for retiring the Dreadsaurian. That model should have come over. So there you go. So there's 2 battle tomes in one. We got a bunch of updates going on. All in all, Cole's still awake almost. That's
I'm still here. We're doing good. We're only like 3.5 hours into this episode or something. Let's not worry about it.
We got 3 hours.
3? Okay.
Yeah. I just got 3.5 hours of rambling into a 3-hour period.
Oh, that's how we pack it in there. There we go.
Just like, and we got 1 hour of content stretched out over 3 hours.
that might be the truth there.
All right. Well, you got anything Anything for everybody before we head out?
No, I mean, just glad to see, like, as we said earlier, and as was mentioned earlier, the Battle Tome supplement was definitely from this month something that was cool to see. And I am one of those people that hope that we keep that up,
Uh,
you know?
I, I, the supplements would be such. Well, so here's the thing. Here's one thing I forgot to mention in the last one.
Sure.
The disappointment. One of the things I was disappointed by the Iron Jaw supplement is I was hoping they were going to take this opportunity to do some patching to some other stuff that was a little off.
Right. Yeah, that's something else they could have done in that book, not just the new units. Yeah.
Right. Because here's the thing is like, and this is actually something I also want to touch on and forgot about. So let's say, so like for these Dawnbringer books, Stormcast has to get touched at some point.
Certainly hope so.
And I desperately do not want any more models for that army.
No, that's true. That's true.
So if literally what they could do is just, well, I guess we could also do this next month whenever we do.
We could. Let's write it down as a discussion that we need to have, especially whenever the second Dawnbringer book comes out.
So we'll talk about the stuff all in that as well, because we'll talk about like the armies right now and stuff. But
yeah,
I hope for Stormcast, whenever their time comes, they just get a supplemental battle tome, and it's just patchwork.
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
If we could just get patchwork, just to get us good enough to be able to play until 4th edition, no models, no nothing, just new rules. That's all I want.
Right.
So, so that would be my pick for my question I'm going to ask to you is, if you could choose one army to give a supplement to, who would you want to see get it?
Okay. So, personally, as someone who's enjoyed playing against the army a lot, I do feel like Fire Slayers are too samey, and I'd like to see a good one for them. Personally, something that just, as a person who doesn't paint the army and know and love it as well as the person who fell in love with it, give me some height change that's not just Magmadroth or Foot Dude. Give me a Cav unit or some sort of little horde group or something to make me, as the other person on the side of the table, go, oh, it's not just dwarves and their one lizard or three lizards they brought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they're within the Dawnbringer sphere. They're not going to be a choice here because they got their stuff first book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see them get a supplement with a Cav unit. Give them a Cav unit, give them a new ranged unit, and I think
that could be fun. Yeah.
Because right now they have a range unit, but it shoots 8 inches or some shit like that.
Right, it's not actually a range unit. Agreed.
Right. It's just an incredibly long pike unit that acts in the shooting phase.
Right, yeah, so let's get... I almost said an artillery unit, but I know you won't be happy with me if I said that. But something that, like, hurls lava at people, you know?
Again, even if you just had, like... I mean, I could see there being, like, this unit that has, like, these big tubes that they just shove into the ground to like extract the lava.
Okay.
But again, just do a unit of 3 of those guys.
Yeah, you could do a 3-man unit. Try a 3-man unit. Right. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And then again, you have some flair to the army.
Yes, there's more going on all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's not a dude with an axe.
Yeah. All right. So I think that'd be our hopes for the future there. With the Stormcast, because again, there's a lot. Obviously, there's way too much to work with, but that's going to be a battle tome issue. But
yes.
So we'll see where we go from here. Like I said, next month we'll deal with if of course, Cole, you're not too worldly
I should
at
be
that point.
okay. I should be okay. I won't be too worldly. Hopefully, all the gamer rust will get knocked off after this trip, and I'll actually get some more games in and be able to talk to everything a little bit better.
Yeah, we'll get you there. Whenever you get back, we'll get a couple games in with Seraphon, see how that plays out.
Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully have a good trip. We'll
Yep.
see you on the other side, and everybody, we'll see you next month.
See you, everybody.